going on, everyone? This is a Popcorn Heroes review of The Last of Us 2. It doesn't have any name after that. Sorry, guys.
I thought you were gonna say a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's a PlayStation exclusive. So fuck you, Xbox. I am Armando. With me, as always, is Pedro. What's up, man?
Hello.
Back for the first time, Mike.
Hey.
And
God bless you, sir.
Wow.
You know we recorded, right?
Thank God we're quarantined because that Rona.
God bless this child, Orlando.
God, into the mic, huh?
I'm sorry about that, guys.
So as we usually do when we review things, we're gonna give you a small thoughts, 1 out of 5, and then we're gonna jump straight into it. But before we do that, Pedro, the synapses.
All right, a spoiler-free synopsis of The Last of Us 2. It is a sequel to Last of Us, Part 1, and it follows the adventures of Joel and Ellie.
Adventures.
And it's in the post-apocalyptic world where this virus hit that's from plants, essentially. And it turns people into zombies. And there's also a bunch of bad people out there because it's all, crazy Walking Dead, Negan type shit going on. So
there is a lot of Negan type shit going on.
Yeah,
a lot.
So that's the spoiler-free version of this game. It's just the sequel of this crazy fucking world.
I love it, Pedro.
I like how you gave a spoiler-free synopsis while spoiling another piece of content. You're like Walking Dead, Negan, some type of shit. So like everyone who doesn't watch The Walking Dead now watches it. They're like, oh, when Negan pops off, shit's about to get real.
I didn't even make that connection, but okay.
Don't worry, Pedro. It's been a few years already.
Yeah, you're fine.
Nobody watches it. So, Orlando, what did you think? 1 out of 5.
Damn, starting from me. I didn't think I was gonna be the first one. That was gonna be Mike, probably.
You've been hyped to do this for how long?
So, honestly, man, it's a 5, man. I can't give it anything but not a 5. It's definitely up there as one of the best video games ever made, I think.
I praise.
Story-wise,
ever made.
Story-wise, some people might not agree with the story or about the character, what happens to these characters. But I don't know, man. Like, it left me feeling some type of way, and because of that, I was just like, damn, like I had to give it to it. Like, it's rare that a game evokes like an emotional response from us, So the fact that it gave me an emotional response, good or bad, is telling. Like, this is more than just a game. This is like cinema. This is like a piece of art. And because of that, regardless of how I feel about certain decisions that they made, it's more than a game. Like, it's beyond games.
Interesting.
Mike, what do you think?
I don't think all that. That's for damn sure. I don't know what this nigga talking about. It was still really, really good. So I'd say 4 out of 5. Story wise, I think everything's on point. Maybe I was just comparing it to part 1 a lot. But gameplay wise, it's a step up, but it's not bad. It's just I don't think it's perfect.
Yeah.
I think there are, especially gameplay wise, there are a lot more things they could have done to, I guess, spice things up. But overall, still a great game.
Pedro, what do you think?
Interesting. I think it's a goddamn masterpiece. 5 out of 5, baby.
Y'all niggas on that Kool-Aid.
So, but it is not a perfect game, but I still give it a 5 out of 5 because everything Orlando said, it evoked emotions. It was a whole experience.
How it's not a perfect game and gets a perfect score? That don't make no sense.
Because I always say 5 means you love it. It doesn't mean it's perfect.
You're right. I agree with that.
And I loved it.
You explained it better than Orlando.
What? All he did was explain our
Let
ratings.
Pedro talk, man. Relax. Pedro's talking.
I'll
White man
there
talking.
are very there are very few flaws in the game, and I'll get into that a little more. And it really is just like as a technical aspect, but there are so many things in this game that's just that there were a few things that they kind of like dribbled in there that was like, I think, revolutionary with storytelling and mixing gameplay. But again, I'll get into those a little later. But I love the characters. I loved that it was just an unforgiving world. And like Orlando said, it made you feel some kind of way. Like you're just... And that's what the first one made me feel. Like through the journey, I'm feeling stuff. And even at the end, I was like, whoa, that's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
It's a lot. And I said, this is going to be a shitty sequel if it doesn't make me feel that in this game. And it did. Totally different, completely different plot, completely different everything, but it still made you feel, it still felt like a Last of Us game because you felt those emotions.
Yeah.
If you want black and white action adventure, just play Uncharted and call it a day. But if you want like some hard-hitting, like gray area shit, you play Last of Us. And that'll really make you think. So, fucking masterpiece, dude.
I agree with Mike. I give it 4 out of 5. What up, buddy?
Hey,
Yeah,
finally
you know,
somebody
I-
with some sense.
For me, it's a great game. Hands down. The gameplay was great. I loved it. The story was good too. I just felt it was too long, and I didn't need some parts of it. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna get into it, but there's certain parts of the story that I didn't really care for.
Actually,
I think they could have. What happened, Mike?
No, go. I'm interrupting your review.
I was just saying that
Hypothesis.
I think they could have done the same emotions without needing to do some extra shit they did. I hated certain doubling on the skill trees. I hated that. That was so fucking annoying. And then, but apart from that, like the game itself was good. I also felt that Ellie's model was the best one out of everybody. It looked cleaner for some reason for me, like. Compared to everybody else's model, Ellie's model looked really, really good, and everybody else's model looked like a video game model. But Ellie's looked really good, and I kept noticing
so?
that. Yeah, I kept looking at that every time there was like a cutscene and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, Ellie looks so good. And then everybody else's model looked very video gamey, but hers looked like, I don't know, like CG. I don't know. It was just
The only person that
really
I think that didn't look like amazing was Jesse, and that's it. Like he looked like.
and
sometimes,
her
like,
girlfriend. Her girlfriend didn't look good either.
Nah, I thought she looked like a real person. I thought she looked like a.
No, I think scenes together they looked really, really good.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know. For me, I guess I was just noticing it too much. I just felt Ellie standed out apart from everyone. Even the girlfriend, I wasn't really. Her model looked very video gamey compared to Ellie.
Right.
I mean,
Hey,
that's not
these
a
are
bad thing.
spoilers,
I'm just
now that I
saying
think
that.
about it.
I just noticed it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, dude. The only way we could ever talk about this is we get into the whole stuff about it. So
Wait,
before
I want
we
to change
begin.
mine before. I think
go.
I'm
Alright,
giving it
go
a 4.5. Now that I'm playing through a second time, I'm giving it a 4.5.
Damn, nice.
nice. So let's start from the top. Orlando, would you recommend it to someone?
Yeah, definitely. If you played the first one, I highly recommend that if you haven't played any of the games, you go back and you play the first one. It's pivotal to understanding the motivations of the characters in the story. And so, yeah, I highly recommend the second one. I recommend the whole series. One of the best games of this generation.
Yeah, Mike.
Absolutely. And so I'm already recommending it. Must play. Probably top. You gotta be top 5 of this generation, definitely. Maybe top 3.
Damn, Pedro.
I'll agree with that. Definitely top of the generation by far. Yeah, highly recommended. Like Orlando said, obviously play part 1. It's needed. It's not like Uncharted, where I started with Uncharted 2, and I kind of got the idea and I went back afterwards. No, you have to.
Absolutely.
You have to play 1. It's fucking pivotal. So, yeah, 100% highly recommended. Yeah, you're missing out if you don't get it. And it really... It really takes advantage of the PS4 and everything. It pushed it to its limits.
It felt like
I
it,
don't
yeah.
know if I don't know if your guys' PlayStations were sounding like 747s, but I
man.
was reading articles that
Mine
those shits
was-
were like really pumping.
Mine was
Really?
really bad, dude. Through the whole entire time I was playing
Yeah. So that just
It
lets
never
you
shut
know.
down.
That just lets you know how much work
I had to
was
increase
going
the
on.
volume on my headphones because all I kept hearing was. I'm like, oh my goodness. This
Is your
insane.
PS4? How long ago did you use your PS4?
My PS4 was a year after.
Is it
launch.
like launch?
A year after?
Oh,
launch.
dude, yeah.
I bought it
Yeah,
the
that's why.
following year, Black Friday.
That's why
Mm-hmm.
mine was way later.
And Pedro, you have a Pro.
Yeah, mine was perfect. Mine didn't make that noise, but I read all the articles, and I was like, yeah, I can see that. I can see
Pedro,
that.
you bought a Pro?
I bought a Pro last year.
Was it worth the upgrade?
Maybe. Yeah, because the other one sounded like a 747. So
Okay.
the loading times are better, definitely.
I feel like
But yeah.
loading times are pretty much non-existent in this game.
The beginning has that big loading. time.
Remember the hidden loading time thing? They did
No, but
that a couple times.
They hide it a lot better than
They
I think
do.
any other game.
All right. Shit, I think we should start getting into it then.
Well,
we all agreed.
I'll just finish saying one thing, and that I do recommend it, but I do love the first one more than the second one. I think
Absolutely.
I felt more emotions in the first one than I did in
Way
the
more.
second one.
So
Like
I
in
was
the beginning
I,
and the end.
I texted Pedro. We had a short conversation through text about the game, and he asked me
This
to do
nigga
a-
could not wait to talk
I
about
could
this
not.
game.
I talked to somebody who never played, who has no interest in video games, and I literally told him the whole plot. And
I did that to Chantel. The same thing. I'm like, babe, blah blah blah, and she goes, damn, that's deep. I'm like, right?
Dang, I gotta find somebody to talk to this game about. Hold on.
yeah, and
Wait,
so
Mike, don't you got someone in the living room right now?
Right after this podcast, I'm going to Orlando mode.
So-
Hi, Mike, talking about the video game.
So I think I texted Pedro. I was like, I think the first one's better. But then after thinking
Definitely.
about it, I was like, you know what, man? Nah, the second one just story wise. I think the first one is just in gameplay wise, it's too big sometimes. So I didn't like that in terms of like, I like how strict and like tight everything felt in part one, because it made
linear.
It made things more intense. And this one, with its more open worldish kind of vibe, even when it's not open world, it's just like a lot of, you can move around so much that it doesn't
Yeah.
give me that intense like fear that I used to have. And also like the collectibles in this one were kind of more annoying because there's more to scan, and I hated doing that.
Yeah, there's
Even
so
though-
much, dude.
Even though I was compelled to do it, I think I just wish it was a tighter area that I needed to scan. But I had to scan this corner and then this corner.
Man,
but
you were walking like for days. It felt like sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
so
felt like that.
I think gameplay wise the first one's better, but story wise, man, dude, this one is just, in my opinion, I think it's better. I think it's better because there's just so much layers. It's like a fucking onion. You really can't talk about this game in a vacuum. Like there's just so much going on that it deserves to be like discussed. And so I think the
One
first
last
one.
thing. How long did it take you guys? It took me 27 hours and 35 minutes.
I think it took me almost like 35, or I would say like around like the mid 30s. I think.
I was
gotta
in the
look.
30s.
Mine for sure is in
I
the
would
30s.
say maybe 28, 29. I know it was almost at 30, but it wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
Mine was
I looked at
definitely
my thing, it
30s.
says 27, 35. All right, cool. Let's get into it then.
Let's do it.
Spoilers ahead. If you haven't played a game or if you don't give a fuck, come join us. If you don't care, stick around. If you do care, just look at the time and come back later after you're done. But spoilers ahead. Spoilers. We're gonna talk spoilers now. Spoilers. Spoilers.
All right.
All right. So I'm gonna begin because I know if I let Orlando talk, we're never gonna talk.
This shit's gonna be a
So-
wrap.
One thing I will say is that I hated playing as Abby, and I didn't give a fuck about Abby from the moment that I started playing her to the very last moment in the game. I didn't care about her at all, not at all.
That's how I felt on day 1 and day 2. By day 3, I was invested. I was like, all right, Abby, fuck these niggas. We gotta go get them.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
I didn't care. I didn't care.
I'm with Mike.
Yeah,
by the
I-
middle of day 2, so yeah, I started. I'm like, the fuck?
Exactly.
Why do I care? You're trying to give these people a soul? Fuck them.
They-
And then
Joel,
and-
nah, forget this. I don't
yeah.
want to talk to these people.
And then day 2, I'm like, All right, cool.
I think for
Yo,
me,
by
it
day
just
3,
it felt very forced. Like they wanted you to feel something for her, and for the moment I started playing with her, it caught me. I'm just like, I just don't care about her. Like, I know what you're trying to do, and I know what you want me to do. I know how you want me to feel. You're trying to make me feel something for her because at the end something's gonna happen, and you're gonna be like, "Oh man, that's great," because I had all this time with Abby. But I'm just like, I don't give a f about Abby. Like, not even through the entire time I played with her, I didn't care. I'm just like, dude, I just care about Ellie. I hated that scene where you're trying to get Ellie when you go to the theater and you're chasing after her, and I remember when I was Ellie and I first saw that place, I'm like, oh, something's gonna happen here. Like I see so many. I see a setup here of like gameplay, and like something's gonna happen here.
Yeah.
Either I'm gonna get ambushed or something's gonna happen that I have to fight somebody in this room. And then once I got to the point it was Abby, I'm just like, I hate it even more now. I'm like, I don't like. In that moment, I was trying to let Abby die every single time. I'm like, oh, and let me see if I let her die, if Ellie kills her and end this shit. But it didn't. I have to fight Ellie, and it was just stupid. And I just wanted to be Ellie. I care about Ellie. I'm playing this game for Ellie, and I don't care about.
She has the best model, guys.
I don't care about Abby. Like Abby was. I think Abby would have mattered more if you saw her in the first game, and then you're like, oh, then you made that correlation. Like, but the fact that it's just a new character and they're kind of making you feel something for her because they're trying to give you a payoff of feelings at the end, kind of killed it all for me. And at the end, I think you could have literally cut an entire Abby plot out and still had it play out the same. And I think it would have meant more because you don't know this character, and in the end you have to you're forgiving her. I think that would have been more impactful than actually getting to know her and then having Ellie forgive her. And I just like, it's just, I think it would be
so much easier at the end if you didn't play her story. If that part was sticking out at the end when you're like fucking drowning her, you'd have been like, yeah, fuck yeah, get in that water.
Finally, we're here. Do it.
The fact that you drowned, the fact that you have to drown her after knowing everything that she has been through is pretty tough.
Yeah.
No, at that moment, it's like she spent months in this place, and I'm just like, she suffered more in those months that she would have ever had by you beating her or torturing her. Like what she went through in that place, and the fact that she has someone with her, I think that was more torture than you could have ever given out physically, because she was tortured mentally, emotionally, and physically. So it's kind of like she had everything there. So I think if you would have just started playing as Ellie and found out she was there, and then you would have gone there and seen what was happening there, and then when you're trying to in that ending moment, I think you would have been like, but damn, like I think you would have felt more if you didn't have met her, because you're forgiving somebody without knowing them. You're forgiving somebody being actually Ellie. You know what I'm saying? Like, because in that moment you know Abby, and Ellie doesn't know Abby. So the fact that Ellie forgave Abby, it was more powerful because the fact that she didn't know her and she still forgave her.
Yeah.
But the fact that in that moment, you already knew her, and you're like, oh yeah, I understand why you're forgiving her, because I know Abby, I know her past, I know everything she's done, I know her friends, I know all this crap. Like, I think it would have been a more powerful statement forgiving someone that you didn't know than forgiving someone that you already knew. I don't know. That's why I saw it.
So, I mean, one of the things that the game does that we forget that, like, it's a game, because usually we put ourselves in the character's shoes, you know, like you were talking as if you are Ellie, and we did the same thing for like when, like in the hospital, we thought like, oh shit, do I have to, in the first game, like, do I have to kill this doctor? Do I have to like?
I didn't want to kill him in that moment.
Right, exactly. You didn't want to, but then you realize, oh wait, this is not my game. Like the game, the game constantly reminds you of like, you are not these characters as much as you think you are, or as much as you think you embody them. Like, these characters have a story to tell. Like, there's a life to live, and even if you're pushing the button, you're not in the control. You're like you're the passenger. And I think that's a lot of the like negative talk in this. I think that this game is getting is because we hold these characters like as if like their actions are our actions. and their lives are like a piece of our lives, and not rightly so because it's a video game, but we didn't invest so much time with these characters, and we feel like we know them in such an intimate way that I understand the dilemma that people are running in of like, oh, why did Abby let her live and all this stuff. And I think how about this? Okay, I know I'm gonna ramble too much, so let me not ramble too much. But would you guys have preferred
go ahead, man.
if it was swapped, as if like the story started with Abby, Seattle Day 1 Abby? So like let's say Seattle Day 1, it just started with Abby, and like
Roxas all over again. Nah, I'm good.
Exactly. I don't want that. I hated playing the 2 seconds you had with her in Seattle, and then I mean not in Seattle.
Well, think about
in
it.
Oregon.
What if you started off with her without her killing Joel? Like you just started off with her, and then you do like her days, and then you realized she's the one that kills Joel. Would that have affected the game more for you guys? Because then you'd be like, oh shit, like this person that I'm playing with, even though I don't have the Joel and Ellie part yet. Like she at the end, you realize, oh, she's the bad guy. Would that have affected the way you guys view her as a character?
Nah, I would have still hated it. I would have hated it actually even more.
I mean, it would in the sense that I wouldn't know that I needed to hate her.
Yeah.
Until
so
the end.
it's funny you say that. I don't know if you guys read the interview with Druckmann. He said that was the original.
I listened to it. I listened to the whole interview.
That was the original idea, yeah. And it was supposed to be she assimilates into the town in the beginning, and then you play as her, not knowing, and then eventually it gets to the point where. So the game was supposed to be a lot longer because you're supposed to be in that town. The town is supposed to be like open world. That's why it was so detailed. And then eventually it sets off the revenge story. But then they were like, let's cut right to the revenge part. So that's why they chopped that whole part of Abby in the town. It was just like, just fucking kill him and move with the story. I think that was the better choice. What you're saying, it would have been cool to have a twist like, oh shit, but
it's been done.
It wouldn't have made me change the way I feel about her in the end.
Yeah. No, I like the way they did it because I feel like it's more unique. It's not something you see a lot in video games where they let you play as the person that killed the person you cared about so much from the first game. Mm-hmm. And even like I didn't even realize the moment I realized like I really cared was when you walk into the hospital and you see Alice dead on the floor. I was like, wait. And then I'm remembering everything that Ellie's been doing and like shit. For it to have me feel like that about all these characters, I think they did it the only way they should have done it. Not the only way they could have, but yeah, definitely the only way they should have.
I agree. It's better to have the rage and to be blind. Like, oh my god, you're feeling what Ellie's feeling. Like, I want to fucking murder them. And it's like, wait a minute. This whole game is a tale of revenge and what it does to you.
Exactly.
So there's that saying that I'm gonna paraphrase, but it's pretty much if you're gonna get revenge, you dig 2 graves because you're gonna lose yourself in the end. And that is pretty much that saying in an entire game. Because
Repeatedly.
A lot of people say, oh, Abby did her revenge and she got everything. But no, after she got her revenge, she was like dead inside. Like there was a hole left there. She lost Owen, which she was in love with her path for vengeance. She lost who she loved, and she was just lost in a group. The Wolves, they were also with revenge because there was that whole beef between the Scars and the Wolves. Like one of them killed kids, and in the other they were at peace, and it was just a whole revenge thing. And in the end, that's what killed both of them. So there's just this theme, this overarching theme throughout the entire game that revenge will kill everything you love, and you're gonna end up with nothing or just be dead. So
yeah,
I just love that. So for you to get those feelings in the beginning, you feel what Ellie feels. So the quick kill in the beginning, the anger, that's perfect. Then the second half is where you start learning the lesson. Like, wait a minute. Like, honestly, I don't know about you guys, but by the end, where you're whooping the shit out of each other in the water, I was like, over it. I was like, yo, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm punching and dodging, but I'm like, yo, just fucking stop.
Please.
I was like, yo, just stop. Go your fucking way. Go back to your goddamn family. Call it a day. We'll see you in part 3. Calm the fuck down. Like,
yeah, when Abby was like,
dude, that shit was gruesome, dude. I was like, yo, this is tough for me. I'm like, this is tough to play and watch.
Yeah. Did you guys feel that same way? Like that yelling, like that intense, like stop this at any moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Ellie was about to get into the boat, and then I guess she has a flashback, and then she turns around, and Abby's like, "I'm not trying to do this." I'm like, "Please, Ellie, I'm not trying to do it either. Just go home."
Yeah, I felt the same way. I'm just like, I don't want to do this. Like, in that moment, I'm like, this girl was essentially crucified. You know,
Yeah.
hanging out there for days. I'm just like, come on, dude. Like, what more suffering do you want to see from this girl after
Yeah.
seeing that, and what she technically must have gone through the entire time that she was there? You know, and then seeing her the first thing she did is cut down. What's her name? Lev, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lev.
Poor Lev.
Lev.
Caught
And
up
I'm
with
just
nothing.
like, when she cut him down, and he fell to the floor, and I'm just like, dude, like, there's just so much suffering here, and on top of that, you still want to fight her after you see
Yeah.
that much suffering. I'm just
Yeah.
You
kind of
see, like her hair, like just the way she looks, how frail she is, and like she was big.
so swole, yo. She was so swole.
She was. Yeah. That she's scrawny as shit.
My god. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
like, at that moment, I'm just kind of like, you both need to get over this, and
Even that caught me off guard because like you don't know how much time has passed when Ellie's finding them, and then they say,
the guy said
"Oh,
it's
it's
been
been a few months." Yeah,
Yeah.
but you still don't.
you don't know
I-
exactly.
It didn't register to me how badly she had been treated for all of those months.
Yeah.
So when you like even try to find her, I really couldn't tell who the hell was Abby because none of them looked like the Abby we had recognized from the game.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Exactly.
true. I was looking
passed
at
her.
all their faces, and I'm
Yeah, I
like,
passed her.
where is she?
I thought I saw her because there was a girl with the braid.
The braid, yeah.
She was hanging. I'm like, oh, there she is. And I go up to her.
she
and
got-
Yeah,
then
I
they,
did the
What's
same
up?
thing.
and then they did the like behind you, like that check behind you type of thing. And I'm just like, oh crap, they cut her hair and shit. I was like, oh, that was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Paige. I think the theme of this game is like revenge, and I think for Abby, like you're right, Paige, we do see that. Like she gets her revenge, she kills Joel, but then you see like in her dream sequences that she's not over it. Like
Right.
she goes and she sees like her dad dying. Then she goes again in the dream and then sees like people like surrounding like or the hospital's in decay. And then it's at the end where like I think towards the end where she's building a bond with Lev and Yara, that she had that dream again and she's sees it and her dad smiling.
Right.
So like she completed her mission, and she's essentially going through the same thing that Ellie was going through, like PTSD of having her dad died. But it wasn't the revenge that brought her peace. It was finding her.
Lev.
It was Lev and Yara finding her home again. And I think we see that when at the end when Isaac is killed, and then Yara is killed, and then Lev is just like, "Oh, your people killed my sister," and she looks at her and she's like, "You're my people."
You're my people.
And I was like, "Damn, that was
I
that
felt
was."
that. I felt that.
Did you guys notice who the voice of Isaac was?
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright, and they completely wasted him.
Yeah,
Damn.
it was, Bernard from Westworld, dude. I thought he was gonna have a bigger part.
Yeah, dude. Yo, he was there
I
for, like,
think
2
originally,
seconds.
I think originally he did, kind of like how Abby had a bigger part. I think there was a lot of tweaking behind the scenes.
They spent too
Probably.
much money on him just for like 2 or 3 scenes he had.
Who knows? Maybe he played the first Last of Us, and he's like, "Yo, get me in the game."
But I think
Sure.
I think for what it's worth though, like the mystery behind him and like his status as like the leader, like because while you're playing the game, you're reading a bunch of like
Backstory.
letters.
So essentially, it was him and 2 other people who were doing the fighting back. They were in charge of the wolves, and then those
Right.
2 people got killed, and then he became the de facto leader that
Yeah.
ended up taking over Seattle from the what is it, Fedra?
Fedra.
Yeah, the Fedra.
And then essentially, but what I don't remember is how the fighting between the Scars,
Scars?
and them started. Because the Scars,
I know it had something to do with children. They got murdered,
Yeah,
and then one was getting revenge on the other, and it was just a chain reaction of
because-
vengeance.
Well, I think what set off the revenge was the fact that their martyr got killed by him. 'Cause
yeah.
she was captured, and then
Yeah.
she had like a peaceful thing or some shit like that, and then I don't know what happened, that she got captured, and then they killed her, and then it just set off this revenge
The Civil
story.
War. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I don't understand is what led to her getting captured. What I still don't remember.
Captured.
Right.
Yeah.
Not, I don't
I
remember.
didn't. I
either.
don't. I couldn't. I didn't. I maybe I missed a letter or something, but
But
Yeah,
I missed a
that's one of the
bunch.
things I'm trying to read now. The second playthrough, where I'm like, how did this start? Because there's a lot of lore in here,
a
obviously.
lot of lore. A lot.
yeah, and
Which
I
is
think that's
really
one of the. I think that's one of the best things though, as if we have this prominent character that we don't really see, and but we know through like the letters that we're reading throughout the game of how of a good leader he is, how much of a badass he is, and stuff like that, and even at the end
Ruthless.
when like he's like even at the end where basically like he sends like basically the WLF after Abby and stuff, and at the end he had like a slight moment of like a change of heart. His team is like, nah, fuck that shit, and they like what, and it's so weird because it was such a quick. Deaths in this game are so quick. They don't give you a moment to process it. Like they just
Yeah.
happen, and you don't even get to sit with it. And so
Right.
when he passed, I was like, oh shit. When he died, like, when the wolf shot him, I was like, shit. Like they're out of control. Like they are out of control. And I think it's very similar to happen with the Seraphites, the Scars, where it's like what Lev was saying, where she was just like, oh, your people are crazy. And then she was like, well, have you ever read the prophet's teachings? And like, have you ever read her stuff? And then you realize it's like a religion that has lost like their teacher, and now it's gone amok. Kind of like how like the Rorschach journal with Watchmen. So you realize that like these people were probably a peaceful society at one point, and then like her teachings, and now that she's no longer there to like show them the way, they kind of just like scatter like roaches, and they're like, okay, this is what it is
and
now.
They create their own.
Yeah, their own mythos and their own
like an extremist group. Yeah.
right. So
I was gonna say that. Well, I also didn't like during when Isaac got killed, and then they start going after Abby. I'm just like, why are you going after Abby when you're literally in the war with Scars right now? You're in their turf, and you're worried about this single girl, and you're chasing her. But what about those people you're fighting in war with? Like I just like that. You're literally wasting your time on one person when you need to fight an army of people on an island. I'm just like, this is so stupid.
That's the thing. They're killing all traitors. They're killing everyone. Remember, they said anyone you kill. So obviously, there's that scene where you're going through the war and they're fighting each other, and if they happen to see you, they'll turn their attention to you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they won't. There were a couple times where I was like, I shot at someone and they kind of like look at me and they go back to who they're shooting. I'm like, all right, I guess. I don't know if that was a dumb AI moment or what, but I was like, okay.
Yeah, I saw that happen to me too while I was playing.
During that time, I was just trying to get around them. I wasn't trying to shoot anybody. I was
Nah,
trying to
everybody
let
gotta
them
die.
kill themselves. Yeah.
Everybody has to go.
I was like, yo, look at all this ammo that I got. I've been crafting this whole goddamn game. I'm using these Molotovs. I'm using this shit. Actually, no. With Abby, she didn't have Molotovs. She had the fucking
The pipe bombs.
I love the pipe bombs. Pipe bombs are so
Those
much
pipe
better.
bombs were awesome. So, well, what I was saying earlier, I didn't want to get into spoilers then, was there's certain gameplay aspects that add to the story that I fucking loved. And one of the main ones, I'm sure obviously we all noticed, is with Abby. Whenever she looks down from like a high spot, that vertigo, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
camera
It kicks
leaning in. Oh my god, I loved it. And you
I
hear
saw a
her
lot
like
of
breathing. There's a
There's
part in the very beginning. Obviously, in the very beginning, the first playthrough, I just ran through. But there's a
Yeah.
part where she's like on the ledge with Owen,
In the snow,
and then
yeah.
Owen goes, don't look down. And I didn't. I was in a rush to like move on.
Me
So
too.
I just
that
went
first
through,
time.
and then she went by normally. But the second playthrough, I actually looked down, and she starts fucking freaking out. And then the camera kind of like goes in and
Yeah.
like waves around, and she starts panicking. And then he grabs her and goes, "Hey, I told you not to look down. You all right?" And then she kind of has to like mellow out for a minute. I was like, "Yo, that's really cool."
Exactly. It's something
And-
you most likely wouldn't see on your first playthrough, but
Yeah.
going through on the second time, you notice a lot more little details.
Yeah. There were a lot of moments like that where I'm just fighting like people, and I'm at a part where there's like a second floor, and I'm like, let me see if that effect still works. Out of curiosity, I get on the ledge and look down, and it still happens. It still does the effect, and she still starts breathing hard. And I'm like, damn, this isn't even a story moment. This is just in the middle of battle, and she's still
Yeah.
freaking out. I'm like, that's awesome.
That's a lot of
that they
coding
did
on that shit right there.
And one of the yeah, there had to be, like, every moment that it was probably a certain amount of, I don't know, feet, however they measure it, units.
Yeah.
There had to be something that kicks in.
Yeah.
The other thing that I absolutely loved that made me feel like shit was, you kill tons of people in Uncharted. You kill tons of people in the first Last of Us. This is the only one where I kill someone and someone will yell like, "Oh my god, Tommy!" And they'll go in and like get sad that they died. They'll like yell out. Everyone had a fucking name.
Yeah. I
And
did
there was
notice
even
that.
a moment where there was a guy with a dog, and I fucking sniped the dude silently. His body just slumps to the floor, and the dog kind of goes like, "Huh?" And like goes in and starts crying and like cuddling with the guy. I was like, "Yo."
Oh, shit. I never did that because I always kill the dogs first. Like, fuck
No,
you, you're not kidding me.
When you kill the people, the dogs get so depressed when you kill the
They
person
get
walking
sad.
with them. Yeah.
They lay down next to the guy. I was just like, "Yo,
I didn't know that.
what the fuck?"
Shit.
I remember the first dog I killed, because I actually killed the dog first, because I'm like, "Yo, they're gonna sniff me out." I
Yeah,
got him
they
with an
gotta
arrow.
go.
Yeah, I was like, I hate to do this, but I got him with the arrow, and they're like, "Bear, no!" I'm like, "Oh no, I killed Bear." Oh, fuck.
Not bear.
For me, it's funny because I really like that how they all had names, but then as I was playing, I was just like, they're just trying to force emotion upon you. I kept having that thought in my head. I'm like, oh, they're trying to force you to feel like, oh, you're killing actual people now, you know?
You are.
You are a heartless human being.
Yeah, like
I am too. Though. I didn't care. Yeah, die,
didn't
Tommy.
care.
Now
The thing is that
come check on Tommy
I don't-
so you could die too. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, call him over. I'm piling bodies right here.
Kill everybody.
That's what I was
Bring
doing.
everyone.
But the thing is that like I love the idea of like people, all these people having names and they're screaming out each other's names. They're like, oh hey Mark, where are you, Mark? You know,
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I love that. That was fucking perfect. But I know they were doing it because they were trying to force you to have emotions because you're actually killing people in this game. You know, you're just not killing some rando soldier
Yeah.
55 or whatever. But in overall in general, I did love how everyone had a name and how everyone screamed out a name and stuff like that when something happened, or like when they were just talking, they were talking about their life or what they're gonna do once they rotate back, and I loved all that stuff. I thought that
Yeah,
was
the
all
second
very
playthrough, I let them talk a little more, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, look at you! Oh man, you're gonna settle down, have some kids. Oh, that's cool."
Squawk.
And then boom! I'm like, "What?"
I let
Damn.
everybody talk before I entered an encounter.
Yeah.
I like hearing those conversations.
I love that, and that the reason why I thought that gameplay aspect, it wasn't just to make you feel stuff. Obviously, yeah, that's part of it, but it was to further like drill in the theme that everyone's got a story.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just black and white. Yeah, and they might have killed someone, you know, you want your vengeance, but like everyone has a side of the story. Everyone is a person. In a war, there's always two sides. You know, they're always like, "Oh, we're at war with blah blah blah." They're assholes, and it's like, wait, you know, you got to kind of like, pretty much, this is a game that was all made. Every aspect of it was made so you could feel empathy, the whole thing, and I think it fucking did flawlessly with making you play as Abby. Of course, in the beginning I didn't, but that's the thing with empathy. You build it over time. I didn't give a shit about her, but by the end, I was like, "Yo, y'all
By
need to
the
chill."
end, man. When
And-
oh, actually, I'm cutting you off.
No, I was gonna say, and then same thing with all the random. I have the first Last of Us still fresh in my head because I practically
just
played
played
it
it.
back to back, and I killed all of those guys without a single fucking shred of remorse. Nothing. I killed all of them, and here I'm killing them. I'm like, damn, this chick was playing PSP. She was playing fucking.
That one I thought.
She was playing Hotline Miami, and I'm like, damn. And then when you see her again playing as Abby, you're like, oh
Yeah,
shit.
Damn.
I'm gonna get you soon, girl. I'm gonna get you soon.
Your time's
like,
coming. It's
I
on the
actually
way.
recognized all the people from that hospital scene
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because for some reason, I don't know if I was like fucking up, but like I was having a hard time in that level. There were like a lot of lights, so I got to moments where I got really close to them. So I remember their faces more or less, and you know how fast I played through it. So like the very next day I was Abby, and I'm like, I remember all you guys. I killed all of you. I was like, I blew you up with an arrow or some shit.
I think what the game does in terms of like killing people and then it having like an emotional tie for it, I think, because a lot of games, like you said, they do that. Like you just kill random people and there's no like weight to it. And I think this is like I think the first one is what kind of did it, but without this one, just is a whole new level. Because I think the
everyone
first
had
one,
a name.
Yeah, everyone had a name and everyone had a reason for being at where they're at. The first one was also kind of great too because there was hunters and you realize that all they do is like they get civilians and they like enslave them and whatever, and then like there's that people who heard about Joe and Ellie, and so they captured them. Like, so every enemy you encountered was there for a reason and not just there just to be there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what this game does, it kind of, if you think about it, flips the whole, because like you have to find a way to marry gameplay and like narrative, you know. And most of the time, most games don't really
do that.
mesh. They don't do that. They just have, okay, the game is shooting a bunch of people and the narrative will be a bunch of cutscenes, but they don't really go together. You just get from point A to point B, and like that's just how it is. And this game does a great job of marrying the two of like, no, this gameplay, it has a meaning to the narrative, and there's a reason why like you're killing people, and there's a reason why like, not just for you to have an emotional tie for it, but it's just they're actually one, you know. Mm-hmm. Like even in God of War, if you think about it, like it gets to point A to point B, but when you go and you kill a bunch of people, there really isn't much to it. They're just there, like they're just like, rah, and then you're just like killing them. They're just in your way to you get to the next narrative point. But with this and with Last of Us Part 1, I also throw it back to that one. There is a narrative reason of why you're killing all these people. Especially like for Ellie, you hate the wolves. And then you realize, well, the wolves are also attacking
people.
You on sight. And then you realize they're people, and there's just so much layers to it. Like, it's just not like, oh yeah, these are just random NPCs. Especially like when you have the PS Vita girl, and you fucking like strangle her, and then when you play the Abby scene, she's like, hey, what's going on? And she's super nice and super colorful, and you're like, oh man, I killed the fuck out of you like a few hours ago.
Yeah,
I shivved the crap out of her. I went.
Yeah, and then you even have was it, I think Nora, with the doctor Nora, and she's super nice, and you see like she's compassionate. She like rescues Abby basically, and then at the end, like when with Ellie, you see her being like, nah, we should have fucking killed you, and but like you see two different sides of this person.
right. And that's the anger of vengeance right there.
Yeah.
Where it's like we had our one shot at saving the world, and you fucking killed them, because they even said that's like the only doctor that can do the cure. So if you look at their side, it's like this guy just killed the future. He's like a fucking Hitler of post-apocalyptic shit. And it's like, yeah, fucking kill him. That's right. So
it's when you're talking about Orlando, how it merges set pieces, like action sequences with the narrative perfectly. I've noticed it a lot of the times, but the one time I really noticed it was at the very end when you're Ellie and you're trying to go into the camp of the people who, I forgot what they call them, the Ravagers or something like that.
The Rattlers.
The Rattlers.
Yeah. Rattlers.
So when you first approach them at the train station, and it's a guy who's like kind of running away and escaping, and then they shot him, and they're like, oh, search the area for more stragglers. And that's the first time not the first time, but the one time I really noticed how they're there for a reason, because people were escaping, and they were there they were capturing them, and then they were shooting them there, and like, oh, keep searching. And I think that's one of the first times that I really noticed that moment of narrative and action sequences, that, oh, you're here to get to them, but they're here because they're capturing people who are trying to escape, essentially.
Yeah.
So that's one of the one times I noticed that combination very perfectly of narrative and set piece.
Yeah, Last of Us 1 did that. I remember when I played Last of Us 1 before Part 2, and I remember there was a part where they're like, man, did you hear what happened on this block? Yeah, they're killing a bunch of us. Who could it be? Like, I don't know. I heard it was a guy and a girl. And then you're just, there. And then that's when I think Bill, even when Joe gets like shot, and you're like playing with Ellie, and you meet Bill, who's like the pedophile predator guy, and he's just like, oh, you know what's funny?
Cannibal.
Yeah, he's a cannibal as well. He's like, oh, you know what's funny? I had a few boys in this town, and they all died because of a crazy man and a young girl. And you're like, oh shit, like,
right.
That was a
that was a great oh shit moment.
That was a great oh shit moment, because like, these are not just random NPCs, and then it tied everything you did to like this basically this Omega Hunter who was like leader of this
Coming
pack
after
or whatever.
you. Yeah.
So I think
like how I agree with that 1,000%. Just how good they are at marrying narrative and gameplay, but it's even when it's not as obvious as them referencing things like that. They'll be with the just with the infected. Like when you read little notes about some of the enemies you're fighting. Like there was this one part where there were a bunch of them trapped behind like a dumpster behind a in an auto shop or something like that. And then as you're finding like little notes throughout the world, then you realize, okay, all these people were actually locked up in there with someone else that was infected. Oh, shit,
I remember that. Yeah, that was a good one. Speaking of infected, what did you guys feel about that boss battle?
Oh shit, dude, that was so hard.
That
Holy
huge ass
crap.
boss battle.
Oh,
that
the
brand
one in
new.
Yeah, the one that had that
in the
huge
ambulance.
pieces everywhere. Dude, that was so hard for me. It took me
Really?
like a good 5 times to get it.
Really?
I think I only
Yeah.
died once.
Nah, man,
I
I
kept
ain't
getting
that.
hit. I kept getting hit, and I was crafting. I'm like, oh, come on, man, come on, like, oh.
Nah, man,
getting
explosive
hit when I was
arrows are
crafting.
king. Just use a bunch of explosive arrows, and I was throwing Molotovs. That shit was dead in like no time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't craft any arrows.
Nah,
I was doing pipe bombs.
Fucking up.
those explosive arrows, those shits are impressive.
Let me tell you, those explosive arrows were saving my ass at the very end when those guys had those helmets. I went, this ain't gonna save you, bitch. Boom! Just fucking helmet floating.
Since we're talking about like the end right now, that's another point in the game where I felt really satisfied killing those guys. Out of anybody
Yes.
I was killing, those are the ones I was just like, hell yeah, I'm killing all
Agreed.
of you. And that's
That was the only time.
and that's the moment where I literally spent, because I didn't really use a lot of my resources. I kept stuffing people.
Me too.
And
Did you use the infected against them?
yeah, for
in
sure.
the pool?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
I unchained them and I saw them running around. They didn't get that much. They only got like one
Nah,
or two.
man.
And I was
They kill like
"These
one or
effects are
two
a waste
people."
of time.
Yeah.
For me, they only killed 2 people.
Me too.
The clickers on the other side were like mowing them down.
No,
I was like, nice.
The clickers on the other side only killed 1, dude. And I'm just like, this is a waste
Oh.
of time.
But you know what I did? I would throw smoke bombs at them, so they would get like all confused, and the clickers will fucking run right through that smoke. They just mowed them down.
Oh,
I didn't do that. I just let the clickers work, and I'm like, that was
Yeah, me
it.
too. I'm like,
It's
the
2
clickers go after
clickers.
me harder than this. And so in that moment, I was using like I was using a lot of my bombs in that moment, my trap bombs. I was kind of having them try to run to me, and I put a landmine, and I was waiting for them, and when they see me, and sometimes they didn't come after me, they just waited for me, and I'm looking at them, they're looking at me.
Right.
And they're not doing anything. I'm just like, come on, come here, and they'll go around, and I'm like, but the mine is right there.
Yeah. I actually thought, now that you mentioned that, I actually thought the AI was a lot better this time around.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was.
Like a lot better. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, they have improved the
That's why I'm
AI.
writing
I
down
think
everything.
gameplay overall has improved. It's just the same enemies, man. It's the same enemies. I wanted them to at least introduce
Well,
More
they did
new enemy
introduce, like,
types?
2 new ones.
The Shamblers.
the Shambler. What's the difference between a Shambler and a Bloater?
It's not just because the bloater throws their shit from afar. The shambler tackles you like a suicide bomber.
That's
But
That shit felt the exact
other ones
same.
were the stalkers. Those were crazy.
the Stalker was probably the best new gameplay addition. But even the Stalkers, they were in part 1 though. They just acted different.
Supposedly the stalkers were in part 1. I just remember
That's
seeing
not
them.
supposedly they were in part. I remember them
Okay,
being
they were
in
in
dark
part-
areas.
Yeah, I think they were in part 1. Yeah,
I
think
played
you're
part
right.
1, but I don't remember them fucking sneaking in the corner and going,
They didn't do that in part 1. That's why.
dude. Because there was one point where I was trying to snipe one. I'm like, bitch, peek your head out, and they go.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that? Fucking peek your head out. The only time that a stalker like actually scared the shit out of me to the point where I jumped was at the end, where like one comes out when you're like looking for the rattlers.
yeah, in
He's
broad
like hiding behind
daylight.
a car. I'm like, it's broad daylight, bitch. What the fuck?
The same. I didn't understand that. That
That one
I like
scared
that
the
even more.
shit
Actually.
out of me.
What happened,
I
Mike?
like
Go
that
ahead.
even more.
Yeah, man.
But I think overall, I mean, those stalker portions are few and far between. I wish there was more differences between the wolves and the scars, other than bows.
Oh, dude, those scars were terrifying when they got introduced with the whistles.
That was a great part. But okay, whistling and calling someone isn't really different. I wish there was like they did something else with these whistles. If they maybe not disappear like the stalkers, but if they like gathered together and rushed you or something, anything to differentiate themselves from the actual wolves.
Yeah, tactic-wise, I agree with you. It wasn't that big a difference, but the scars were definitely harder because there were a couple times where I was still trying to get a hang of some things, and I was getting like owned by those arrows. And you know, if they stay on you, it starts killing you little by little. So you really got to pull it out by holding R1.
Yeah.
I didn't have that problem with the wolves, but with the scars, I was getting. As soon as I heard those whistles, I was like, oh man. I don't want to get up right now.
At first, when they were first introduced, I was like, "Do they talk? Do they not talk?" Like, especially like, you know, you see later on Yara and Lev with their face scarred up, and you're like, "Oh, I guess they cut their mouths, so maybe none of them talk." I thought eventually that was the idea of them, and I thought they just whistle. So I was like, that's kind of weird that they just whistle when they can clearly just say like yo 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 yo, but whatever.
Well, they're doing is they're trying to disguise themselves as like birds, which is the very first time you hear it, you're kind of like, what is that? And then that's when the arrow comes at you.
Yeah, I thought that was just background
it is a
noise.
surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely at first when they first are introduced, they're definitely very like
Yeah, they're fucking terrifying.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
One part about that I did really like, there was one of the gameplay portions where you're with Lev, and then like I got caught and they started whistling, and then Lev was like, "Oh shit, they see you, let's move." So just little, like she's translating the whistles for you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just little additions like that where you wouldn't see in most games.
You're right. The reason why it's not a perfect game now, even though I gave it a 5, the reason why it's not a perfect game, I actually thought, as much as I liked it, I felt it was unnecessary. The open, the open world area. I thought it was gorgeous. It was nice.
mind it.
I felt like they threw that in there because they wanted that more into the game, and then they kind of like changed their mind and they just decided to keep a portion there. It reminded me a little bit of like Uncharted 4 has that area while you're in the Jeep. It gets open world for a quick minute.
That's Lost
Same
Legacy.
thing with same thing with Lost Legacy.
Yeah.
So I think they were just trying to keep that going. I didn't mind it. It didn't take me away from the game, but looking back, I felt it wasn't needed. I think everything else in the game was needed, but that a linear section with you, because I know that area was used so you can kind of build a relationship with Dina as a player, so you can kind of get to know who she is, because you spend a lot of time with her doing like side shit. There's even a lot of like cool small talk. There's the whole Take On Me cover in the music store that was fucking awesome. So there are a lot of cool character moments, but I think if it was a linear section, it would have served the same purpose. So that's why I felt it was unnecessary. Not bad, but just unnecessary.
Yeah, I thought the game in general could have been more tighter in terms of like its openness. Cause the first one there was, and I felt like we had more ammo in this game. Like even if like it wasn't like a huge amount, I felt like I was always equipped with like enough ammo to handle the situation.
You can edit
And
that.
the first one, I felt more like scarce ammo. And I felt like way more nervous against the clickers and the infected. Yeah, so I think the second one, it being so much bigger, there was so much places I could hide. There was, going into the grass. Like there was just so many ways I could maneuver, which was great.
The proning definitely helped.
Yeah, which was cool as a gameplay perspective, but the first one felt to me more like I was more on the edge of my seat because there wasn't a moment for that.
One of the moments in the game that I really loved, it was predictable to me, but it was still a nice reveal, was the sniper fight. I actually really liked that fight.
I didn't predict that at all. I didn't know what the hell's
really?
going on. Whoever this nigga is, he's a fucking beast. I gotta get out of here.
from the moment they were saying, "Oh, this guy has been sniping us," I'm like, "Oh, this is Tommy."
I'm like, this is badass Tommy right now.
Yeah, because in the beginning, you knew when you were playing as Ellie, you heard that Tommy was doing the sniping, but I had completely forgotten about that part. I just see this,
and
this
it
fucking,
even goes back to the flashback where he's teaching her
how to snipe.
And then and now that I'm playing it the second time, there's that photo with the guy that had all the weed in the very beginning. You see them; they were in the Fireflies together, and you even see he has like a sniper rifle there. So you're just like, oh shit, this guy was like a badass in his day.
Yeah, he was. You put your head out for a second. Jesus.
Yeah,
he got you every single time. Dude.
and I loved how smart he was, where he was shooting the cars to set off the alarms. I'm like, yo, Tommy, chill the fuck out.
Yes,
I actually died once there. I died once because I didn't realize there was a clicker behind me. Because there's at one point where there were two clickers coming at you at one point, and the car alarms were so loud I couldn't hear the clicking, and that fucker just chopped me. I was like, God damn it!
You gotta stay with the shiv on you, man. What are you doing? You don't leave the house without a shiv.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that's true. With Abby, you had to have a shiv. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that moment, I died a lot because Tommy kept getting me through the windows of the car.
Tommy was a piece,
One thing I did hate was...
Wait, that's probably one of my top 3 moments in the game. Top 3, that level. Yeah,
that level was really cool. I really liked it. One of the things I hated, like I mentioned earlier, was the two trees that you had to do. That frustrated me a lot, and I hated the fact that you had to.
The skill trees.
Skill trees.
Nah.
And I hated the fact that Abby didn't have a knife. I'm like, girl, you're a military girl, and you still don't have a knife. Like, all these people should be having knives at this point in their lives, dude. You're like a top lieutenant in this army, and you don't have a knife, and you have to carve shifts. I'm like,
here's the thing with that. She is supposed to be the new Joel. When you play part 1, Joel didn't have a knife. He had to make shivs, and he would punch the shit, strangle the shit out of everyone, break necks. She was Joel's moveset.
Yeah.
So it just made sense.
I'm like, whenever I moved past this already. We did that in game 1. We don't need to do that shit again in game 2.
But if you make a character exactly the same, that doesn't work. So the thing with Ellie, now that I noticed, second playthrough, I started using a little bit of more melee with Ellie. Yo, that shit takes forever. But with Abby, I'll just fucking start knocking them out like real quick.
Yeah, she's real good with that.
She's a fucking tank. Like,
she's a
those
tank.
Arms weren't for decoration. Like it was actually felt in the gameplay, and I liked that they were 2 different characters.
Yeah, she was a massive tank, dude. She was so
especially
tanky.
with her sniping. Oh my god, I had so much fun sniping with her, and with the with that fucking pistol. I was popping everyone with that pistol.
That pistol was good.
Now, second playthrough, I was able to upgrade the sniper rifle all the way for Ellie, so now I'm like kicking ass. But I wasn't there at that point. I just used bows with her.
I don't know. The skill trees didn't really bother me as much because my play style is just all stealth all the time anyways. So it's not like I was really, other than like the listening stuff and stuff to make you like quieter or move faster when you're listening. Mm-hmm. The skill trees didn't bother me. I was fine with that.
It didn't bother me either because I think in the game, like I said, I have enough ammunition to handle what's going on. So like I would collect supplements constantly, and then forget that I have to like level up my skill tree.
Yeah,
until it reminds you.
Yeah, until it reminds me. So I would be like 170, and I'm like, oh, let me dump it now. So it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't ever a big deal that like I had to like level it up, because it didn't change the game for me drastically. I just tried to me, I was looking for where to level up my life, and that's it. Like, okay, this really levels up my life. Okay, I'll focus on this mainly, and then everything else would be like when I remember to level up, I'll just level up everything else randomly.
You know what I was thinking? I was playing this game. I'm like, this is a post-apocalyptic world, and you're passing up on bullets. I'm like, girl, why are you passing up on bullets? Get those bullets, put them in your backpack. I don't care if they're loose. Like, don't be passing up on bullets, man. I was getting so frustrated.
You mean whenever you're full? Yeah. You gotta upgrade the capacity.
I'm like, no, I that's one of the first things I did on all my guns was upgrade capacity. And I'm just like, why are you still passing up on bullets? Like, they're just bullets. Just fucking stuff them in your backpack,
Nah, bullets are
this isn't GTA where you could have a bazooka and then like 1,000 pounds of ammo.
So you
Yeah,
don't.
just
So you
like,
don't.
oh,
So you don't like when it's too real. When they might make you want to feel for all the all the NPCs, but then you don't like when it's not real enough and she's not picking up all the bullets.
Come on, dude. If you're trying to make something real, then make it all real, okay? Bullets are scarce.
That's
You
not
collect
how it
that
works,
crap,
man.
8 shotgun shells and your backpack is full.
It's a wrap.
I'm like, you could carry those 4 more you find right there in that store.
Not necessary.
What did you guys think of that Future Days song that basically is like the theme of the whole game?
I didn't even know that was a real song. I thought that was Joel like writing a song, and I'm like, oh shit, that's deep. And I
from
looked it
Pearl
up. I'm like,
Jam,
oh,
yeah.
it's a
Isn't that-
fucking real song, Pearl Jam.
It's a real song? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
2020.
like-
Nobody give a fuck about Pearl Jam, nigga. What you talking about right
But
now?
the game was the song was good though. It was really
like
good.
Pedro,
If
I thought
I
it was
ever
an
were to
original
lose
song.
you, I'd only lose myself. Yeah, dude, that's the theme of the game. You're right.
Yeah. I
I definitely felt like it hit home a lot when at the end where basically like, you know, Ellie comes back from her revenge mission and Dina's gone and like everything that she owns is like in one room. And then she
Yeah.
tries to play the song, but she can't because she lost her. She literally
That
lost
part
her
was so
fucking
funny.
fingers. And I'm like, fuck, you lost everything.
yeah.
She lost what gave her the connection to Joel because she continued her fucking quest for vengeance. If she would have chilled the fuck out and stayed with her family,
Exactly.
but
I
she
told
needed-
her to go home. She didn't want to listen.
yeah. But she as a character, she was still going through PTSD at the time, so she needed that closure. But that's what that closure cost you.
Exactly.
I
Fucking
don't
fingers.
mind her. I don't mind her doing that journey, like to find Abby again. But I thought she was doing it for forgiveness when I first was doing it.
For forgiveness.
So, I was
She
like,
can stay at home and
yeah.
forgive. I'm not going way down to Santa Barbara to forgive you. You gotta die. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I actually liked that. Again, to continue with that theme, that it showed that Tommy couldn't stop either, and that's why he
Yeah.
broke up with that girl and everything.
Yeah.
He was like not having it.
I
Yeah,
do
I was
like.
like,
I
And
wonder
I
what
think it's
happened to
fu-
Tommy though.
He got shot in
it's
the head.
He got
also-
shot in the face. He was paralyzed. Like his half his face is like fuck.
Yeah, but he was gonna go out there and search for her again.
No,
No,
he wasn't.
definitely
He nigga a cripple. He not gonna make
He
it.
was like, he's like, oh, if you don't go, I'm gonna go. But clearly, like, he wasn't gonna go. He couldn't
That
go.
nigga can't go nowhere.
He's got one leg, one working leg. He was limping, and half his face is fucked. First clicker shows up, he's dead. He ain't gonna snipe anyone with one bad eye. Like,
I mean, but you see, like the moral of like the song and the theme play out through all the characters. Like Joel's way of being, where like he was like, you know, even Joel committed an act of violence just for like Ellie, and then that starts his whole thing of like violence for violence, an eye for an eye kind of like scenario. So like then like Tommy at first he wasn't down for it. He was like, nah, we shouldn't go, and like it's gonna be a hard mission. And Ellie like eggs him on, and then he fucking goes, and then like he loses everything. He loses.
I actually didn't take it that Ellie egged him on. I thought he was just trying to play it cool so she wouldn't want to join. I
That's what
think
I
he
thought
was
too.
down. I think he was down to
exactly
do
what
it no matter what. He was like, "That's my fucking brother." But Ellie, no, it's cool. It's cool.
You're a kid. I don't want you to do this. It's not worth it.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
would need too many people.
But
Yeah.
but definitely the second playthrough, I really got a feeling that he was like, "Yo, these bitches are going down. I just don't want Ellie a part of it." So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly how I took it too when I was playing it. You know,
But
since
either
we're
way, it's the
talking
same
about-
thing. The
Either way,
quest
yeah.
for vengeance and the downfall that it does.
yeah, like
I
he
do
lost
like
everything.
that they showed, because I was especially at the end. I was really hoping that she wouldn't just, if she forgives, what's her name, Abby.
Abby.
I didn't want her to just
Yeah.
go home back to everything she left. I like it better that her going, because you would think after the first time that Abby almost killed her, and what's his name? What's the guy's name? The Asian guy.
Live.
No.
Jesse.
Jesse.
Jesse died. Dina got beat up. Like shit. If you didn't learn your lesson the first time, and then you're gonna go back and chase her again, and you saw how that ended for you, there have to be consequences now. There have to be more dire consequences. You can't just come out of this unscathed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's you're so right.
And,
Very right.
and I think of it as like like this game, in my opinion, has no like bad guy or enemy, really. And the fact that like
Those slavers are pretty bad at the end.
oh yeah, they're pretty fucking bad. The battles, yeah.
Yeah,
But
I feel at this point you're your own enemy. You're your own villain.
yeah, and I think that like I kind of sympathize more with Abby because like yeah, she kills Joel, but when you think about it, like Joel literally like fucking doomed civilization and also killed her father and like and her friends and like her
And he was a
colleagues.
doctor. It's not like he was anything bad. He was a fucking doctor
I
just
have
trying
a
to
question
save the
for
world.
you guys, since both of you played Last of Us, right? So when the whole flashback scene was replaying again and all that bullcrap, I remember, I feel like it's her dad who lunges at him to attack
Nope.
him, right?
He never does. He
never
has
does?
the
Never?
knife in his hand. He has the knife in his hand, but he's like 6 feet from you, and he's shaking, and he doesn't move unless
Yeah, he goes,
like,
"Don't come near me."
and that's it. And he's just like that. And you have to kill him like to move on to progress the game.
Oh, okay.
So he
'Cause I
never
thought he
lunges
lunged
at you.
Like at some
Nah.
point when you got close to him, he lunged at you, and that's why you killed him.
Nah, there was a point where I
That,
literally
that was you trying to justify an innocent kill.
No, because the thing is that the way I was thinking, if it did play out like that he was just like, no, don't kill me. Then and Joel just did it because he did it. I was just like, that's fucked
Right.
up. But I always thought that he was like, oh, like don't kill me. And then when you got close to him, he lunged at you, and that's why you ended up
Nah.
killing him. So in my head,
When
I was just like, in my head, I was just, yeah, that's what I thought when I was playing as Abby, and I was just like, your dad purposely went after Joel, and that's why he died. Because if he didn't, if he would just stayed in the corner and not done anything, he would have survived this. Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
I think you love the characters so much that you're like, I need to hate Abby and her revenge story. Like her dad never, like, he literally has a knife, and there was a point where I walked to the dad, didn't do anything to him, and then walked to the rest of the like operating doctors and stuff, and they're all like just shaking. So yeah, the
You
dad
don't have a
doesn't ever
choice.
do anything.
You gotta
have
shoot.
to
Yo,
kill
first
them.
time I played that, no hesitation. I fucking shot him in the face. No hesitation. I was like, give me my fucking daughter back. And that was it, dude. I was like emotional.
Yeah,
and then the
get out
second
the way.
playthrough, I did what Orlando did. I was like, let me walk around a bit. And everyone's just,
So yeah, and I think when it comes to Abby though, like, you know, you literally, I sympathize for her because her literal dad died, her colleagues died, her friends died, possibly, and then
and her
civilization.
quest for vengeance cost the death of her other friends.
Yeah,
So,
and then,
All of them.
that was a downside of that.
yeah, and then she lets Ellie live like twice. Like fucking twice she lets her live. And she even tells her like, we let you live and you fucking wasted it. And I'm like, fuck, dude, like that is so true. Like she saved you. Like they wanted to kill you, they could have killed you, and she was like, nah, I didn't come here for him. I didn't come here for them, I came here for just him. And like Ellie didn't care. Ellie's vengeance was so strong. She was like killing all these wolves, killing
Everybody. That's how I felt.
killing everybody.
And in the beginning, I was like, man, this is pretty awesome. But it's also a little too Assassin's Creed for me. I'm going to go one by one to all of them. And I'm like, eh. And then once they shook it up, I was like, now we're fucking talking. This is Last of Us to me, where it's like changes
Yeah.
it up.
By the time like I had finished day 3, I was really like, damn, this is the game. This is all I'm going to be doing, just chasing these people. I would have given it like around a 3. And then you play as Abby, and I'm like, all right, now you have. Not only did the first part seem just like a revenge flick, now you're having me play as somebody I really don't care about. I really don't feel like playing this game right now. But yeah, once you get to day 2 and 3, everything starts to make a lot more sense.
I was the same. I didn't really care for Abby a lot, but I understood her, and I never cared for her, like really as a character, and not because she killed Joel. I just didn't. There wasn't much to her. Like her quest for vengeance was so strong that like it's all you saw of her character. of like, oh, what do you like, Abby? Just killing Joe. Hey, what do you do for fun? I work out
Killing
to kill
Joe.
Joe. You date anybody? Nope. I just date the dream of killing Joel. And so
That's pretty much what she was. And then she realized how empty that made her.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now
And
that
so
he's dead.
So there wasn't much to like about her. Like even most of the characters were fleshed out pretty well, and I think she wasn't that much. Even the fact that like she becomes for more of a rounded character when she starts caring for Yara and Lev, because you see like, oh wow, you have compassion. Oh wow, you care about things. Like, you know, like it's not just a mission for
Revenge
you.
quest.
You know, and so just at the end when you're like beating the shit out of her and you're like about to drown her, I'm just like, dude, like I was just like, yo, let it go, Ellie. Like just fucking let it go. Like clearly you owe this girl your life. Like she saved you. Like if you don't realize it or not.
The whole time I was playing, the first time, because I played the whole weekend. I played for like 2 days straight. That's how I beat it so quick.
I figured.
My mom always hangs out in the living room, so I put the PlayStation to the living room and I started playing it. My mom was watching me the whole fucking time playing it. Dude, she was invested. Even she went, hey, if you're gonna play tomorrow, let me know so I could watch. Dude, she was invested. She was like so into it. And at the end, when Ellie's like strangling Abby in the water, she was like, "Don't do it!" Like, dude, she was like, "Just stop it!" And when the game, I was about to say movie, when the game was over, and the credits just rolling, it's just like kind of like that. I don't know what the fuck to think. She just looks at me and goes, "That's it? There better be a fucking part 3." Like, she's like, does she find Dina? Do they raise the baby together? What's going on? I'm like, I don't know.
It's
Yeah.
like what Mike
Dude,
said,
she was
had to
so
lose
into
all,
it.
though. She can't
Did
go
you
back. She had
guys-
to lose it all.
Did you guys get
I left it. I saw it as slightly optimistic. She didn't get full revenge, so that makes me think there's a chance of her getting it back. I feel like symbolically, if she would have really killed Abby at the end, that's it.
Yeah, it's
There's no
over.
chance in her getting her family back. So that kind of leaves it on a little bit of like, that's the price you paid, your fucking fingers, and you can't play guitar. So your connection with Joel, that's the price you paid.
Hey man, she could do her lefty, man. She could switch it up. It's okay.
Eh?
Yeah. She could strum with these 2 fingers and hold with the other one. It's fine, man. It's all good.
But yeah.
do you guys think was there ever another moment that you guys got like emotional during the game? Because I realized that I cared so much about Joel that like I gasped at the because I didn't watch any of the previews or anything or like the E3 events. I saw the one at the barn dance, and I saw a little bit of it, but not too much.
I saw the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing.
But did you guys at any moment did you guys like get really emotional? Because I got emotional when I saw Joe again at that bar dance and he like breaks out the fight. I gasped for a second. I was like, because I guess I haven't seen him in a while in the game, and I was like, oh, there he is.
You know which scene I really enjoyed, where I was like, fuck, dude, this is perfect, was where the birthday with the rocket ship. Where he
That
pretty
was
much
very
goes
touching.
essentially on the birthday date with her so that they can go
Yeah.
into the rocket ship. She puts on the helmet and he's like, hey, here you go, and he puts the fucking the cassette tape of a launch, and she's like feeling it, and then he kind of looks at it and he's like, happy birthday. I was like, oh shit, dude, this is
starts
right here,
playing the
man.
launch.
That was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
That
say-
was probably my favorite moment of the game. Like, it really made me go like, whoa, this is crazy. This
I have
is
two
good shit.
things that I really enjoyed. One thing was how in the beginning it opened up with the aftermath of that party,
Yeah.
because I thought they were never gonna show it. In my head, they were because it was kind of like it was the trailer for the movie. I mean, for the video game, the very first trailer, and I was just like, oh, they're never gonna show this again. And I like how the fact that the game started in that moment in the aftermath. I'm like, oh, so you have to see the trailer in order to understand what happened here. But it didn't play out that way. You ended up seeing at the end of the game the whole dance again. But I really liked how it opened to that. Like, if you already saw the trailer, you understand what was happening. Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
trailer.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. And the emotional parts, it was the first, when Joel gets killed. The ending. And there was a part in the middle that I got touched, but I don't remember what it was right now. Go
Yeah, I
ahead,
feel the
Mike.
same,
Oh,
but I can't remember it either.
Yeah, there was a part in the middle that I was just like, damn, that got me. Yeah,
I
don't remember
think-
right now.
I don't know. A lot of the character interactions, I think the cutscenes overall were all really, really, really good. So much so that because I felt like a lot of the gameplay was starting, maybe, like I said, I play stealth, so I'm pretty much just crouching and knifing guys in the back the entire game. So after a while, that gets really repetitive, but I don't know, that's just how I play. So I wanted more cutscenes. I wanted less gameplay and more cutscenes.
Yeah, me too.
There would be stretches of gameplay. I'm like, damn, when am I going to meet somebody? When am I going to talk to somebody? When is Ellie going to have another interaction? I miss those.
Yeah, one of the scenes at the very end, which is pretty much when she's about to kill Abby. She has like that quick flash of Joel, and then at the end you get to see the full moment of why she had that moment. Because before that, I thought her final words to Joel were at the
barn.
The dance.
Yeah.
at the dance, where pretty much, I forgot what it was, but she pretty much tells him to fuck off.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn. So when we finally do see that scene that was in the trailer, I'm like, damn, that was the final words. No wonder she's pissed. She can't fucking handle it. But of course,
Because you're
when she's
thinking her last words were like angry words to Joel. They never got
Yeah.
to reconcile. They never got to fix things.
right. Yeah, so this revenge is her way of like apologizing to him. I kind of took it as a way like that. But now when you got to see the truth that they did like settle to start like, she accepted it, and he pretty much said, hey, it doesn't fucking matter, it was gonna happen. If I would have gone back and do it all over again, I would do it exactly the same way, because that's like, and that's when she was like, all right, we can start, we could watch a movie. I think they were planning to watch a movie.
Yeah, it's funny because when they're out and about in the game, and then she's like, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" Like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch a movie with Joel." Like, you realize, oh shit, like that's the next day. That's the next day. So they're like, damn, this is their day that they're gonna like try to be cool again.
Right.
So it's
Yeah,
very
that's
sad.
why I didn't think like Pedro did, because for me, I heard those conversations and I heard her say, "Oh, I already talked to him," so I knew they already had a conversation. I didn't. My head didn't go, "Oh, she didn't patch things up with him." So for me, I already knew that there was that conversation. I just didn't think we were ever gonna get it.
I actually thought she was lying to them to kind of like, because everyone kept asking, "What's up with you and Joel?" and she kept shrugging it off. So I kind of was thinking that she was just saying that to get everyone off her back, so that she wouldn't tell, the truth. That it's
Yeah.
like, Joel fucking murdered an entire group of people just to save me. So I thought it was
There
her
goes.
deflecting.
That's the other part that I got that hit me when they're at the fire, when she goes to look for the fireflies and she's in there in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
And then she goes out to Joel and she's like, "Tell me the truth, or this is over. Like, at least if you tell me the truth, like, we have a chance. But if you keep lying to me, like, I'm not going to be with you anymore, or whatever." And when he tells her, "No, that's part of the emotional part that kind of.
I actually love the way he said it too. It was just straight to the point. It was like, the cure would have killed you, so I stopped them. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Especially when I was playing through part 1, I murdered every single one of those motherfuckers. I didn't dance around. I killed every single one of those people. So when he said I stopped him, I went, yeah, you did. In my playthrough, you really did.
I like that. Shit, I lost my train of thought. Fuck.
Just write it down, man. That's what I'm doing.
Damn. A part I liked in the first one that I really thinking about it, the part where like he has to kill Marlene, and she's just like, "Oh, let me go." Like, and he's like, "No, you just come out there," and he shoots her. Ah.
Yeah. And it's crazy because now you get to see Marlene's side a little bit more, and you get to see she was on Joel's side. Like, she was like,
Yeah.
not about killing Ellie at all. She was like, no, we can't do this. There's got to be something else. And then she's like, fuck it, it's for humanity. So
Yeah, and it's funny because you see her being like very like have empathy and be like, play the like the other side, and then she has to tell Joel, and she's like, nah, I need to make sure that I'm very like strict on this and don't have any leeway because he's gonna try to talk me out of it. So I need to be like, no, she has to die or whatever. This is what it is, and sorry, but
yeah.
sorry, not sorry, kind of vibe,
Yeah,
So
if
it's
she
funny that
hadn't,
you see
if
that.
she
you see
hadn't
that
gone
in there.
back and told Joel, this game wouldn't be happening.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
She's like, no, I gotta tell Joel. It was that, like, her, like, sense of honor, her
killed her.
sense of
You should
compassion.
have said
She
shit.
killed
You should
herself.
have just said she died on the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely thought of that, especially with part 1 still fresh in my head. I was like, oh shit, dude. There's so many layers to this now that it's adding. It's not just straight like, hey, we're gonna kill her. Fuck it. That's it. Now it's like, oh shit, there's a lot of consequences to what you just did in
What
the first
Joel
game.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Fireflies broke up.
So
And then
that's
the
what I was gonna
Firefly
say.
breakup creates the wolves. And it's just,
Exactly.
he created this world. It's crazy. Like when you start thinking
Well,
about it, like what he
I think
did.
I think the wolves are they're not
already there.
they're not a subdivision of the of the Fireflies.
already
Like they're already there.
Are you sure? I actually
Yeah,
thought they were
The
created.
Fireflies essentially just went there because they had nowhere else to go.
Yeah. They joined. They became wolves.
Yeah.
I actually thought they became wolves. Yeah.
No. So that's one of the things when I was playing this game, I'm like, damn, the Fireflies are just such little bitches, dude. Because the doctor dies and that's it. Your whole thing disbands. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
isn't there
because
anyone else who comes here?
The whole
Yeah,
thing about
game
the
over.
Fireflies was for the cure. So when you lose your one chance to create the cure, that's it. There's no point.
But even Abby says it when you're searching for the Fireflies. Like there's more than one way to establish society, because the whole point of Fireflies was to establish society. So she was like, there's more than one ways to do that. So essentially, the Fireflies disbanded for no reason. They could have just kept going about their life trying to establish society. So that's what I'm saying. They're little bitches for just disbanding because
Yeah, you killed
one
two of the
guy
top
came in and
people.
murdered everybody.
Oh, he murdered a lot of them, so it's just
Yeah.
like he
First of all, yeah, a
You're
lot
like-
of Fireflies. And 2 of the most important Fireflies he also
their
murdered too.
their leader and their chief doctor, their president and their chief of staff died.
The company, yeah, it's
And
over.
Alvano's
man.
like, what about the Speaker of the House?
There you go, man.
Continues.
Well, the Speaker of the House continues this shit.
And he was probably out there too getting killed by Joel. What are you talking about?
Hey, man, there's a chain of command, dude. If it has to go down to the Department of Agriculture, you have to go, all right, man?
And Battlestar Galactica shit right there.
Now, one of my favorite parts, it's really gameplay though, is when you're in that complex and you're filled with just the infected or whatever, and you're slowly like working your way down. Just the verticality of that
Oh,
level.
man. You talking about
That-
the hotel?
The hotel. When it's all like you have to keep like jumping across gaps and then going to lower floors.
Oh, right, yeah. The way it was built, it was the hotel that was falling apart. Yeah,
Exactly.
You're right. It felt like an Uncharted level, actually.
Now it felt better than an Uncharted level. That shit, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
That's where I found my trusty flamethrower. And I used that
Yeah,
shit
we find the
nonstop.
flamethrower.
I used that shit on the Gramblers. It worked great on them.
Yeah, you're right. That was probably the only time I used flamethrowers. I kept switching out of it after a while once I fought the humans.
Nah, man, it should take like 1,000. It takes like all of the damn flamethrower ammo.
Yeah.
I used that shit too at the end when I was killing all those rattlers. I'm just like, you fucking asshole.
I never used it on people. I never used it
I
on
didn't
people.
use it on them.
I was like, yeah, you better suffer when you burn up.
Angry ass nigga, damn.
You know what part I
Overall, man?
skipped? You know when you with Ellie and you go down to San Bernardino, that big ass that mansion where it had the 2 Gramblers in it,
Yeah.
Shamblers. I skipped that.
Yeah.
I ran
did?
through it. Yeah, I was
Oh.
just like, I ain't gonna do this. Just ran through the mansion because I saw the
Yeah.
open window and I'm just like, hey, I'm going through that, and I ran and I jumped over it
Oh.
I mean, yeah,
and I
you
kept
could've-
running and I slid into the hole and I left. Was like,
I
"Oh,
never
yeah."
skipped any of the combat.
You know which part I was reading? Apparently, it's a deleted scene, but I don't know if you guys ever read the diary. But the diary.
Yes, I did read the diary when she was
and
looking
Frank-
at it in the house.
Yeah, when she's already at the house, already with Dina, and they have the family going on, and she starts reading about that she killed a hog, and then the hog's scream made her think of Joel, and she fucking had her attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I read that, I was like, oh shit, she still got PTSD. It actually like made me jump a little bit when she gets it again with the what was it, the shovel falls,
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
she thought it was
the
his head
sheep.
cracking.
Yeah.
Dude, I jumped and I went, oh fuck, this is crazy. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, she's fucked.
I thought that was a really like powerful scene to show that, yeah, man, she's fucking scarred.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and,
thought
and that was
yeah.
adding more to that. She still hasn't had that closure. She still needs something. So when Tommy showed up, I was like, ah, shit, here we go again.
One more time.
At one point, I thought they were both gonna die, but I just kept thinking, dude, if she kills Abby, Lev is gonna go after her, and the cycle continues.
Continues, exactly.
And if they
she
both
dies,
die,
we all
Yeah.
riot because you can't kill Ellie and Abby live. That's just not how this is gonna work.
that's true, yeah. But that's the whole thing I was thinking. I was like, yo, you kill Abby, Lev comes after you, and they're gonna go after your family. They're gonna kill that fucking potato baby you got going. And it's
The
gonna get crazy,
potato.
dude. That freshly baked potato.
I was thinking they were gonna kill each other just because they were both so fucked up at the end of that fight.
Yeah, I was like,
You know what
Fuck.
detail was so like at the end of the fight, the detail that got me when I was like, God, I don't want to do this. Is like when you cut Abby, you see like the cuts, and I'm like every
Oh,
slice
right.
that you do like stays, and you're like, ooh man,
It's
I
true, it's
really
true.
do
Yeah, you're
not. I really
I
do not.
was
wanna
definitely
kill
not
this
having
girl.
that either.
Yeah.
I didn't feel as bad because I remember how Abby was fucking me up when you were chasing Ellie. I'm like, yeah, bitch, you remember that shit? This is the revenge.
The part that got me with Abby was the part where she had Dina in a headlock, and then she was and Abby was like, "Don't do it, she's pregnant," and she's like, "Good." I was like, "Oh."
No, she said even better.
Even better.
I was like,
I
shit.
was like, "Oh."
If
You
it
know
wasn't for
what?
Lev, she would have died.
Yeah, I didn't. And when on my first playthrough, I didn't know if they showed her stomach, but I didn't realize that Mel was pregnant.
Right.
Yeah.
When you kill her and
mentioned
Owen?
it.
They
Yeah,
they did a
when
good
you
job
with
of
Owen-
hiding it, but they do mention it in the beginning.
When you're with Owen, and you're searching in through Jackson through the forward to the woods.
No, yeah, he says
he says
Elle's,
that. He says that. Oh, she's pregnant.
she's pregnant.
Yeah,
And that's when
Yeah.
she's like, "You got her fucking pregnant!" Like she's
Yeah.
all jealous and
she's
shit.
pissed.
Yeah, but when
basically,
you're playing as Ellie and you're killing them, I didn't connect the dots. I guess that Mel was pregnant.
Oh, okay.
That the person
No,
you're
I
killing
knew she
is
was pregnant.
pregnant.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I heard the name, but at that point, I didn't know who was who. So I'm like, okay, it's just some random chick.
So I didn't realize she was pregnant. I didn't realize she had died while she was pregnant until you come back as Abby. Then I'm like, wait, what?
Oh wait, you didn't notice with Ellie? With Ellie, she says
So
it.
she
She's like,
vomits.
she's
Yeah.
pregnant, and you see the belly.
I might have been doing something else at the same time. I did not pay attention to that at all.
Yeah, that was the main reason why Ellie like started freaking the fuck out. Like,
I might have fucked
like
up on that.
because remember she went back to the theater and she was like barfing and shit and like freaking out. That was why. Because she's like, yo, I killed some, and that's why Abby was like even better. You know, with the pregnant thing. It's like you killed a pregnant chick, I killed a pregnant chick, and it's
I
like
thought she had freaked out because this is the first time like she has just murdered people. Like all usually
not
it's
self-defense.
self-defense.
Well, I mean, it was self-defense.
Fight or flight. They've captured you. You're trying to escape. Now you got to kill these people to get out. Even though you wanted to kill them, but there's still more of a reason. Like you're trying to defend yourself. With Owen, like she went looking for them. They were unarmed. She murdered them at this point. It's not you didn't kill them in self-defense.
And when you look at Abby's side of the story, you see that Owen wasn't down with the cause at all.
Yeah.
He was trying to leave, and you're just like,
Yeah.
damn, I really killed like the only good wolf, like that really didn't want to do nothing.
Well,
He was
Mel
getting
didn't
ready to
want it either,
escape.
right?
yeah,
yeah.
Mel didn't want, and that's why they wanted to leave. So yeah, once you get that side, that whole other perspective, you're just like, yo, there was so much shit going on here. This is a huge
So-
world.
So Mel found out. I guess Owen told Mel that they slept together because at the end she was just like, "Oh, we're gonna leave, but you're not
Nah,
coming."
man. Hoes be knowing.
I
They
don't
be
think so.
knowing.
I think she just had that intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was just being jelly.
Nah, man. She knew. She probably smelled like Ellie in here. What the fuck? I mean, Abby. The fuck going on here, nigga?
Her muscly sweat is around here.
Yeah, y'all shooting
Which
arrows while I'm gone? What the fuck is this?
And
Nigga, this is my house.
You let her beat my score.
Yeah. I came back. You come back and- And your girlfriend is hanging out with her ex and they've been playing games in your house all day? Nigga, what the fuck is going on?
that's true. She walked in and saw the score and went, "What? She was here?"
Wait, she did 12 instead?
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
I fucking destroyed that score. By the way, I like owned that shit.
I did 10. I got to 10, so I tied with Owen, and then like literally the last one, he said 1, and I shot, and I was like, and I made it by like 1 second.
Nah, there's like 14 of those things.
Yeah, I think I hit all of them or something like that.
I ended up hitting all of them.
Yeah, you destroyed that score.
Because when I started, I didn't move. I stayed perfectly still. And after a few shots, I'm like, wait a minute. I restarted real quick, the checkpoint, and I went, all right, here we go. And then I started fucking moving, and I got them all. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get that trophy, because you get a trophy from getting that high score.
I got the trophy on that one.
They love doing those trophies.
One thing that I missed, and later on in the story, you kind of get caught on, the reason why Lev was running away. Because they were having a conversation, and I got distracted because I looked at my phone and I was reading something, and then when I looked up, like, oh, so that's why you ran away. I'm like, oh man, I missed it. so then I put a restart the checkpoint, and it didn't restart the conversation. It went to the end.
It doesn't say anything.
It.
I think they just say though that she says, "Oh, because I cut my hair."
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, she says that, but then
Abby's like, all right, whatever. You're not gonna tell me the real. She brushes it off because it doesn't sound believable.
Yeah, and then she says that because they call her Lily. Like when you're fighting,
that's where you can't start catching on.
They're like, oh, Lily's here, and you're like, what the fuck? Who? And then you start catching
you know
on
these
that.
niggas? What the fuck?
Yeah, and then you realize
that's the same
that
Asian girl from the OA, so I knew that it was.
I knew she sounded familiar.
I knew she looked familiar, but I couldn't place it.
Yeah, and you know which one looked familiar to me just because the character models were the same? Mel is actually Tiny Tina from Borderlands.
Oh, shit.
Because I was looking at that face. I'm like, why does his face look familiar? And when I looked it up, I saw the face of Tiny Tina, and I'm like, oh, shit. They got like the fucking nose and the
face. Back in Mel.
The girlfriend is the girl from the Westworld. She did Raising Hope also.
Oh, yeah. She's the one that Bernard thought he killed. Yeah.
Yeah, the right-hand man of Bernard.
Wait, that's Dina?
That's Dina, yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like her, but that's the mocap.
And the voice actress, too. The other one is the black girl, Abby's friend,
Nora?
the doctor.
Nora.
Yeah, she is from All American.
You know everybody but the black character, huh?
The CW one. What are you I'm telling you right now where she's from. She's from.
No, you didn't know her name though.
Oh,
Mike. He knew who Isaac was.
Don't save him now. It's too late.
No, I don't know her name because I just know her from that show.
I know.
So, I know her.
Yeah.
So,
you're talking about the character.
Wait, which show? Which show again?
All American. So
I haven't watched. Is that show good? Never mind.
I liked it. The 2 seasons are pretty good so far. Yeah. She's from that show. And that's the only people I've probably noticed.
But I think bringing it back to the whole Lev thing, I think that's the first time that I've seen a trans character introduced in the show,
and also portrayed pretty well too. Like I thought it was a very nice, well-rounded like story where it's like, oh shit, yeah, the fuck, do what you want.
Yeah,
you're gonna go there and fuck old people? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
With everything we got going
on, you technically
on,
don't know how old the elders are though.
Yeah, but when I hear elders, I think elders.
You ain't never seen no young elders, man. What are you talking about?
I mean, you don't know, dude.
It's too old. Whatever age, it's too old.
They're your age, but they're the elders. Nah, man. Those some old ass dudes that are about to croak. They just trying to throw that seed everywhere.
Well, if you think about it, they've been fighting that war with the wolves for a long time, so a lot of them might have died, you know.
It's still too old. It's creepy.
She's still trying to stabilize. It's good.
They're young elders, man. They're young elders.
And also, don't forget, at the end of the day, she's under 18.
Yeah, that's true.
It's wrong.
She's like, I don't know how old she was, but she was definitely way under 18.
Yeah,
I think she's 11.
Right? Something like that's the vibe I got. I got around there.
I got 11.
I think she was either 14 or 15.
Still too young.
Because her sister was like 20 or something, I think.
This nigga's trying to defend the hell out of it, man. You really fighting for these pedos? Let it go.
Oh boy.
I did like that her whole little plot line. It is the first time I can remember seeing if there have been transgender characters. I'm sure there have been in games before, but just their plight highlighted to this level, just the plight of being transgender and trying to just live your life in whatever situation you're in. It's the first time I've noticed
in
it
a society that sees everything right and wrong, like the women do this, the men do this.
Exactly.
It's like, no, I want to fucking go hunt. I want to be a soldier. It's like, no.
And she's
you're
a
gonna
badass.
fuck, and you're gonna let that hair grow real long. And then she shaved that shit, and they went, now you ugly as fuck, and you're ruined. You ain't fucking no elders. You're dead.
Now you're gonna die.
Like fucking crazy cult society, you know.
Yeah.
So
I did like their camps though. I like how. Like,
yo,
advanced they
that
kind of
scene.
were.
Yeah, the skyscraper shit was really fucking cool, but that scene at the end where everything's on fire and it's just burning,
Oh
even
my
when you look
God.
at it before
was
you get
beautiful.
there, when
You're
you look
like,
at it from the window, I was like,
Yeah.
yo, this is cinematic. Am I gonna have to go through there? I'm like, oh shit.
I figured you'd have to go through there, but I was like, damn, Isaac, was all this really fucking worth it? Look at what's going on.
Yo, Isaac character, that's another thing. Oh, I probably mentioned it here too. That Isaac's character is the pure vengeance, like destroying like part. So again,
destructive.
he is the extreme of what Ellie and Abby would become if they would have continued their way.
Absolutely. And he got just what they would have gotten. You died.
Yeah. So yeah, I just love that they made an entire game about compassion and revenge. That's not like John Wick or something, or just a typical Assassin's Creed. Like there are consequences to everything you've done, and
Exactly.
and I thought it fucking hit home.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think it's also a game. Like I think I saw a review of saying like Last of Us 2 is a game of love, because you realize that everything that's happening in the game is for love. Like the love of
It's
Joel, the love of a dad, the love of a partner, the love for two brothers that two brothers have. If you look at it through that lens, it you see that like how powerful human connection can be in a world where it seemed that it's not as powerful.
Yeah.
When human connection doesn't seem as powerful in a apocalyptic world, but it truly is the only thing that could unify us and unite us.
That's true. There was an interview with Troy Baker where he said the beauty of this game is not that there's like cool moments like the giraffe moment or like funny moments. It's that it's the juxtaposition of like Joel getting his fucking head caved in and all this crazy shit happening, and then you get those nice moments sprinkled in, and that's what makes you really enjoy those nice moments, like the guitar playing, the Take On Me, the birthday. You're like, wow, there's still like goodness in this craziness, and it's just that back and forth of tugging on your heartstrings of the two extremes. That's what makes it like a really good game. That's what that balancing act that they're doing. That's what makes a Last of Us game.
Yeah.
I never cared for most of the other characters than when I did for Joel and Ellie. Like I think Dina I thought was pretty great, and then
No, Jesse was the fucking man, dude. Jesse was a real G.
I like
Jesse just seemed super calm, super chill. What a cool guy! Like he goes
He's
and helps
cool
out
guy to be
Tommy.
friends with, yeah.
You fuck his
Ride or
girl.
die,
He's like, I'm cool.
Yeah,
Whatever.
shit
It's
happens.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's he just seemed like a cool guy, and it's for
He was your ride or die. I was shocked when he got shot in the face. I actually went like, yo, did that really just happen? Oh my
That shit
god.
happened quick too.
And it was like Orlando said, there are so many of those moments of blinking you'll miss, like, oh shit, that dude just died. All right, we're moving on. And it's like, I was just with this guy for a quarter of the game, and you're just gonna do him like that? Damn.
Exactly.
Like they were brutal, dude. No mercy.
The
in
two
this
times,
game.
the two times you see it, it happens so fast. Because the first
Yeah.
time, bang, that you're down. Oh crap!
Yeah.
And then when you're playing as Abby and she shoots him, it's so fast. Like
Yeah.
the door opens, she just shoots. It's like a reflex.
And the
she
other
has.
crazy thing is the first time you see it, you see that moment that Ellie has under the counter where she just looks and gets shocked, and that makes the act look malicious. But then when you're in Abby's point of view and she just shoots, I'm like, yeah, man, that guy was coming at her. Of course he shot him.
Had to. What a
Yeah,
choice
you
this
had
year.
to. First guy coming in. So it's just crazy that just that death alone, because I was invested with Jesse, dude. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit. But when I saw the moment through Abby's point of view, I was like, oh, he had to go.
Nothing
Nah.
else.
Even in that moment, I was like, not Jesse.
Even when Manny died, Abby's friend, and I was just like, oh, he seems like a cool guy. He seems like
He watches anime. Come on.
Yeah.
Princess Mononoke.
yeah.
Oh shit.
He writes
He
love
likes
poems.
drinking.
And then when Tommy fucking blows his face off, I was like, oh,
Dude, that was
oh
crazy.
damn.
It was so quick, dude. You're like, oh, okay.
It
this-
was
this is dead.
really quick. I didn't.
Yeah.
It just happened, dude. And throughout the whole game, I'm thinking about, oh, did I kill Manny? And I kept thinking about him.
You're
I don't
right.
know if I killed
I
Manny.
was thinking the same thing. You know, I got confused. I'm like, was Manny the one that Tommy tortured on the seat? And I'm like, I don't remember if that was him. And then now,
Yeah,
obviously, we see Abby's. And I'm like,
And then
nope,
you
we got
see
him
it,
now.
They essentially both of them killed 3 for 3, right? Because I think she killed the
She killed
Owen
Nora.
Mel,
She killed
Owen,
Mel.
Nora,
No, dude.
Mel. Owen, Nora, Mel.
Oh, Nora Mel.
What
And
about the
then-
girl
Did
she
he-
strangled with
Didn't
the
she kill the guy
headphones?
with the guy with the scar in the beginning?
Oh, the guy with the
Like
scar. So that's
the
4.
guy with the beanie. Like, I forgot
Yeah.
his name, Danny.
The first one you
that's
killed.
4. That's 4. Yeah.
They killed a fuck ton of people, man.
Ellie up. That's what I like to hear. Good job, Ellie.
So then this other guy only killed 3. Then Tommy only killed 3.
Yeah.
Eddie got
At
4.
first, I thought it was too obvious that it was because of him killing the Fireflies, the whole vengeance thing. And I kept remembering in part 1 where he mentioned that the first time you meet the people that are trying to loot you, she's like, how'd you know they were trying to do that? And he's like, I've been on both sides. So I thought, oh shit, him and Tommy were probably in some shit and they killed innocent people. So a part of me thought that that's what the
So-
repercussions were.
They
I
had
wasn't
the-
100% sold that it was because he saved Ellie yet. And then
So,
obviously it was
initially-
the
Initially, they were gonna do that. Like the in the interview, they said that that was originally the story, that like Abby's dad was part of like a camp, whatever, and then Ellie, Joe and Tommy go in hunters and fuck up the whole camp. But
That's what I
her
was
dad
thinking.
and her mom escape with Abby, and then she gets revenge on Joe and Tommy.
yeah.
So originally that was that was where they're going with it, but then they
This
thought
is
about
better.
this
okay,
is better.
as Joe, everybody has to kill that doctor no matter what. Like everyone has to kill that doctor, and so why not like have that act of violence begin another act of violence and so on and so forth.
Yeah, because you killed someone so important that it had all these repercussions. So it makes sense why someone would come after you. Just you killing some random hunters and then their kid like searching the entire country for
Yeah,
you
yeah.
makes less sense.
It also makes more sense for the rest of Abby's friends to hate him just as much too, because it was
Exactly.
the future. That's why they all like spit at him and they're like, he fucking deserved worse, because they were
yeah,
all
when you see that the
invested.
first time, yeah, it's like what the fuck? Why do you think they hate that much?
Yeah.
But
Do you a lot of the complaints is that some of the characters, like a lot of people thought that like okay,
People
Joe
complained?
would never.
A lot of
Yeah,
people
definitely
complain
a lot
about
of
this game, dude.
complaints.
The
They
hate is
reviewed
strong.
bombed the game for like a lot of reasons, for like political reasons, for like everything.
real?
But
They were like, "Oh,
one
you
of the
play as a
complaints-
tranny for half the game," and it's like, grow up, fucking grow up, dude. Oh, they killed
One-
Joel. Get out of here. Remember when I think we all reviewed the first one? We all said that in the second one, Joel would have to die. That's just logically where the story would go, because
Yeah.
you already started playing as Ellie in part 1, so it's like it's logical you play as Ellie in part 2 and Joel dies. So
yeah.
I was expecting it. I didn't expect it that early, but I was definitely
At all.
expecting it.
I
No, I
thought
didn't
he
expect
would
it that
die by
early.
the end of the game.
I thought it was going to be near the end. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
So you were saying,
so
Ren?
damn, what was I saying?
You high? You okay?
Nah, I'm not. What was I saying about?
You're talking about
Ellie?
the hate for the game.
Okay,
for all the
people were
different
saying.
reasons.
So people were saying that Joe would never say his name like that to a group of strangers. Like he would never be like so open and so like willing to trust people.
He did it.
because
It was
he
Tommy.
knows.
Tommy like, hey, nigga, I'm Tommy. He was telling everybody his fucking name every chance he got. Friendly ass nigga.
But it's also been years since part 1. They go out to look for survivors to bring to the camp.
Yeah.
So it wasn't any more of like, oh shit, are they trying to rob us? No, it's like, come on, man, we got a great place going. Hi,
Come
I'm
back.
Joel. Hi, I'm Tommy.
Yeah.
So they dropped their guard because they got soft. They got soft
Yeah.
for society.
I think
to
that's
me,
what
it
hap-
makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because they've been living in the camp for 4 years. Well, at least
Yep.
Joe and Ellie have, and so like they're just soft. Like they're used to like having outsiders come in and being part of the camp. They're used to like newbies coming in and taking over.
And you literally read a letter of Tommy trying to get somebody from the hotel that where you fight the clickers. There was a letter saying, "Hey, you know, don't stay here. Come to us. We're Jackson. You know, we're a growing community. We have everything there. Come join us."
You know who that was, right? He sent the letter to the one that called her. They called her that shit at the fucking dance. It was that guy.
Seth, I think.
Seth, the one that insulted her.
That fucker.
Yeah, it was
He
that
should
guy.
have died too.
Yeah, in the second playthrough, I'm like, fucking Seth. Yeah, it was Tommy that did it.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, so I mean, I think for the most part, like at least Joe and Ellie, I feel like as characters, they do act as I thought they would act.
Yeah.
I never thought that Ellie would be so like gun ho for vengeance. But I understand it at the the PTSD and like just she just never forgave herself, and nor did she like.
And also,
I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot to do with regret. Like she just never got over the fact that like they spent a lot, because they essentially they spent a year or so without really talking to each other, because she finds out that Joe kills everyone at the hospital, and a year later the dance happens. So essentially you assume that like for a whole year or so he wasn't like really talking to her that much.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
Yeah,
have
the
one more
the
thing
hate
here
for this
that-
game is insane.
That I have written down is, do you think when Abby was on a two-way, you think that was actual real fireflies she found, or no?
Yes.
Or was it the rattlers?
I thought that for a second, but then I the scene where they're testing her, like, oh, who was the supervisor there? That lets you know that it's real fireflies. And even if you all beat the game, the boat is no longer in the water, it's on shore. That is the place where the firefly camp is.
yeah, they confirmed that. The
They
director
confirmed that's the island.
That's the island that they're at. So Lev and Abby made it.
And
Oh,
actually,
they make it
they
after.
said that was one of the regrets, that a lot of people thought what you were thinking, Armando, that it's like, oh, the Rattlers just fucking with her. And he's like, yeah, we kind of fucked up on that, like writing it that way. It came off that way, but no, it really is real, and they get there at the end. It's confirmed.
So when they leave, when they escape, essentially, they go
When they escape, they make it. Now, they left it up in the air whether there's people there or not, but they definitely made it to where they had to go.
Where do you see that? I don't remember that.
When you beat the game in the new start menu, because it was a boat
start menu. Yeah,
the new start menu. That is the place where the Firefly camp is. That she heard on the radio.
That's very badly explained.
very badly explained.
Yeah,
I think it would have been better to be when it was after the credit scene of just her and the boat landing there, and that's it.
I
think
agree.
That would have been.
I actually
better way.
waited for the whole credits to see if there was
Yeah.
something. There was
I
nothing.
always wait for the credits. I never.
yeah, but
Last
as
of Us has never done anything, though. They didn't do anything in the first one. So a part of me was like, maybe there's nothing, but just in case.
Would you? One of the things I would have liked to play it as, because this game does a good job of diving into like some of the characters' motives and giving you enough background to make you care about them. Do you think it would have been interesting playing as the Seraphites, the Scars? At least one from like maybe like back then when the Prophet was alive, and just seeing like maybe like that their rise and fall essentially.
To add into
Because,
this
like-
game, you mean?
Maybe as a DLC or something, or like maybe explore that within a comic book or something, because it's like they flesh out all of the characters so much. Even the wolves, for the most part, you kind of get their gist. Like they're like a military group that pretty much are in like a civil war.
Now
and
you
the
mentioned it
Seraphites-
that way, a DLC with the Seraphites, with the before she becomes a martyr, and maybe to see how like Isaac was involved in that, and that's how they tie it in. I could
apparently-
see a DLC game with that.
Apparently, they're not going to do any DLC for the game.
I mean, honestly, the game is so long. This was like playing as Abby was DLC in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
I took that as DLC.
That was one of the things I was going to say. So when I played part 1, I beat part 1. I had never played Left Behind before, which is a DLC for 1. I finally got to play, and I was like, oh shit, this section could have been in the game. And then you had to pay extra for it. Same thing with Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. I'm like, this is a very long like epilogue. Kind of cool, but I had to pay for it. So I feel like this is us not having
Lost
to pay.
Legacy was like 10 hours though, right? Like,
Yeah, Lost
Lost
Legacy is
Legacy
actually
long
pretty
though,
fucking.
man.
That was pretty
yeah,
long.
Lost Legacy is the long game.
Okay, maybe not so much that one, but definitely Left Behind could have been thrown into the game because it took place
Behind
in
could
the
have.
section of the game where Joel was injured. Because it just did a
No.
time jump in the first game.
That was
and this
supposed to be,
time,
that was before. That was before
That
she
was-
met Joel.
That's how she got bit.
no,
But
it's a flashback. It goes
Yeah.
between both.
Yeah, but it starts when Joel gets injured. He falls off the
Oh.
thing.
Yeah, and it's her having flashbacks of her origins as she's taking care of Joel and trying to get supplies and try to stitch up his wound. That
Yeah.
could have been thrown into the first game easily, and it wouldn't have, So
No, that
I
would've
felt
been too
like they
much.
did the same thing. Instead of doing a DLC of Abby's version, they showed you both sides. So yeah, I could see why people go, "Damn, the game is long." But honestly, for $60, I paid 2 fucking games that are like companion pieces of each other, where you get to see both sides. I think it's perfect.
What they say there's gonna be quote unquote DLC is gonna be the multiplayer version of it.
They are
Factions.
gonna do that then.
Yeah, they're still working on it.
There's no multi. Yeah, this game is a 4, man. It might be a 3.5. Where the fuck is the multiplayer? We played the multiplayer so much the first time around.
Oh my
We did.
god, we played that shit nonstop,
Dude.
man.
Something about being like in single player, you counting every bullet is tough. But at the end of the day, they're AI. But man, trying to shoot real players with 2 bullets, you're like, oh shit.
Gotta make these shits count.
Gotta make them count. I gotta craft this fucking smoke bomb. I gotta hit this guy with that hammer. Yeah.
Those smoke bombs. You throw that shit and just run in there? Jesus, man.
I think the multiplayer is gonna be very expensive if they're still working on it in that sense, and it's gonna be the added content, the added value for this game.
Just think of the rope
be massive.
mechanics. That's gonna be crazy.
You think it
adding the
would
rope
be
mechanics.
a game as service light?
I
Like
think
not
so.
as expansive as something like the Division or Destiny, but like their own
No, I
guess
think it's gonna
lower
be
key.
deathmatch.
Oh, you think it's gonna be massive, like a Fortnite type of thing, or
Nah,
you're
that-
thinking more of a Destiny, like you said, like a Division.
Like something
Nah.
on that level but smaller scale. Not as intricate.
It could be, dude.
I think it's gonna be deathmatch like the first one. Just maybe
But
more game
I f-
modes, more
I
maps.
feel like the first one they put like a foot into that arena just by
They
making
did.
you have like people you care about. You have a certain amount
care
of
of.
weeks or whatever to take care of
gotta
your
feed, yeah.
your survivors. So they would have to do some version of that, and they would have to make it bigger because it's the sequel.
That is so true, dude. Because why would they be taking so long to do a multiplayer version of the game
Exactly.
if they were going to do the same thing?
Exactly.
You're so right, Mike.
It has to be
I mean,
something on a bigger
it
scale.
makes-
More to it.
If it's bigger scale, then I can see them charging a price for it. But also, like, if they do dip their hat into that, dip their feet into that, that would be like one of their first probably successful multiplayer games. If you think about it, like Last of Us is already so renowned, it's already becoming one of the fastest selling PS4 games. If you have a really good like deep multiplayer expansion, it could literally be like a moneymaker for PlayStation.
It could
Yeah,
be.
I think it'll be
'cause
free
they don't-
though,
'cause-
and I think they'll charge it for season passes like they've everybody else.
I
is
would
doing.
hope so,
Apex,
but I think
Fortnite.
I think
Destiny.
if you're gonna do something like how Mike is suggesting, like a Division kind of gameplay or Destiny kind of gameplay, like I would hope it's free, but then I just don't also see. I could also see them charging like $30.
I doubt it would be free.
The Last of Us is so popular that like imagine after all these the reviews and the sales, and they're like, oh, and now fractions are back, $30. I'm like fuck yeah.
Yeah,
I don't see why not.
But I don't think they'll do that. I think people will hate them if they charge you for that.
They would
If
hate
you
him.
bought the game, if you bought the game, it'll probably be added for free for you, and then they'll charge you for like season passes. But
Yeah,
if they
I-
were to charge just for a multiplayer version, no way, dude.
Yeah,
I
it
get you,
would
but
it
it
would be
have the game.
chaos.
Like if you didn't have the game, like let's say Orlando, you didn't buy Last of Us 2, and you wanted to play the multiplayer version, you can for a small fee like $10, $15, or whatever, $20. But if you have The Last of Us already, you will automatically get it for free. I think that will be something, and then they'll charge you for like cosmetics, like they did for the Uncharted games, and they'll charge you for a season pass where you could build up to free cosmetic shit and stuff like that.
So if it is something on the scale of Destiny or bigger, like on Fortnite, do you think it should still be free, and they just charge you for passes?
Well, Fortnite is free, and they'll charge you for passes and cosmetics.
But
Yeah, but they already
Naughty
they
Dog
already
doesn't
did-
seem like the type of developer that would kill you with microtransactions, which is where Fortnite gets most of
Well,
their money.
Uncharted did kill you for microtransactions. Everything you,
Yeah, but look at-
every cosmetic you wanted was a charge. It was
But I don't think that was like a money maker for them. I mean, I'm sure it made a decent amount of. I mean, microtransactions always make money, but I don't.
It wasn't. It wasn't a moneymaker.
Yeah,
But I think that if they were to do, they could potentially do like it's say if they're gonna do something as big as you say, Mike. Maybe not like not at that big scale as that, but maybe something smaller where you have to kind of maintain your environment. They're gonna microtransact you for sure.
Yeah. I just also don't. I see what you're saying that people might get upset, but it's just like, dude, you got like literally a 40-hour game. You're like, this is not part one. This is like 2 games essentially. So it's just like, if you're complaining about a multiplayer that you think should be free, like why should it be free? Because the first one had it for free. Like you essentially got like 2 games out of this one game. So
Yeah, but that
And now
says
you-
you're saying that Uncharted multiplayer should have been free, should have been paid. It was part of the game. Uncharted
part of
4
the
had a
game.
multiplayer.
yeah, but I mean, Uncharted 4 is almost the length of the other Uncharted though. You know what I'm saying? Like essentially, you're getting like 2 Last of Us games in this. So
yeah, I mean, that does make it a little different. The game was long. There was just a lot more to it, I guess.
yeah, there's a lot more. I don't know.
It really feels like It feels like they lost out on money. If it's way more valuable for $60. There are plenty of games that don't come close to giving you that kind of value for $60.
Yeah,
Or
I feel
they
like I got
bloat
the definitive edition of Last of Us 2. I feel like I already got like the Game of the Year edition already.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's kind of another thing that I like, because a lot of games that you pay $60 for, they feel bloated, but because of like side missions and shit that doesn't have to do like with anything, regular ass collectibles or just like dumb little shit they throw in everywhere, disabling towers and all that kind of stuff. This is a game that was like 30 hours and it was all just one single story.
And you know what's funny too, that we have yet to still receive a patch. So this game
That's
dropped
surprising.
bug free. So the times that they pushed back the game was to give you a game that was bug free
Right.
Yeah.
for the most part.
For the
Unlike
most
how
part,
most
there
people
was
say,
like
yeah.
2 bugs that I ran into, but that's very impressive for a game that didn't have a day 1 patch. That's like unheard of.
Right now,
There
yeah.
was so I called Pedro in the middle of a random day because I thought there was a bug where like I had to push a cabinet and I didn't see the icon, the triangle icon to push it. But Pedro, I found out it was my fault. So in the game,
Yeah.
I was doing. So
You thought it was a
you know
glitch.
when
You were telling me it was a glitch.
So you know when you do the listening thing, and eventually a prompt comes up saying like, "Oh, it's press square to scan for enemies. Press this to scan for like
I
items."
never
Have you ever
got
seen that?
No, I never.
Nigga, what difficulty
So-
are you playing on?
I was just playing regular difficulty, but since I was
Yeah.
messing around with the accessibility settings
Oh,
because of
okay.
You
the
changed
colors,
things.
so I was changing things a little bit, and I must have changed that prompt to pop up.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't like this here. Let me try to take it off. And when I took off, I put remove interactive cues, because that to me was an interactive cue that I was getting. And then so I got to this point where I was crawling under something and I had to press triangle to push a cabinet, and I'm like, damn, dude, this game's so fucking stupid. I can't believe they fucked up. And then I'm like, wait a minute, no, I fucked up.
Okay.
My bug was when I texted you guys. You know that scene where you're with Abby in like the Home Depot
Yeah.
and you're climbing on the top?
Yeah, which
You
is
have
one
to
of the
jump
first
over.
scenes.
Yeah, the very beginning, and you have to jump over to this shelf, and the shelf kind of falls apart, and it comes
Yeah.
down, and the clicker comes at you. So what ended up happening for me was that I jumped on the shelf, and the shelf never fell. So I just jumped down and I started running around and I was hitting the clickers and the things and I was searching for stuff. And I spent like a good 10 minutes trying to find where to go. I'm like, damn, where the fuck do I go, man? And I was so lost. I didn't know where to go. I kept going checking doors and I was trying to climb up again. I couldn't. I was like, damn, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I'm lost. And so then I looked it up. So I looked at somebody's gameplay of it and the shelf fell down and the whole sequence happened. And I'm like, oh man, I never got that sequence. So I had to restart the checkpoint and then go through it again. And then the sequence happened for me. That was my bug.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, mine was I was prone down somewhere, and I was going through like a hole in the ground, and then I stopped moving, and I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? So I'm trying to go forward and backwards, and my character isn't moving. But what was happening is their arms were like doing some weird like YMCA shit because it was freaking out because I kept hitting circle to go back to crouch, and I guess it was moving its arms back to where the crouch position is, but the body was still laying down. And I was like, oh shit, so I had to restart the checkpoint. That was the only time I had like a really bad one.
Oh, I didn't run into any glitches at all.
The other one was something was appearing and disappearing during a cutscene. And it was something in the background, like a wooden board was like flickering, and I was like, oh, that's distracting. I forgot which moment it was, but it was something that was supposed to be emotional, and I'm just eyeballing that fucking piece of wood, and I'm like, that killed it. Those are the only two glitches I had in the game.
No, yeah, I was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't have none.
So back to that conversation of, you know, this is it was kind of a flawless game. You are getting for $60, but I still feel that if they were to charge for multiplayer, I think that's a big deal.
I think it would be a big deal because people are going to make it a big deal. I don't think it should be a big deal.
Well,
I
it
think if
depends how
it's-
big it is, of course, too.
I think if it's just going to be death matches like the first one, you know, like classic death match, Uncharted, you know, that type of shit, it needs to be free if it's going to be like that. If they're going to charge you for it, it needs to be bigger, like what what Mike's saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. If it's not that much different than the first one, then make that shit free. But if this is something you see like a potential future in, or just it's a lot more interactive with a lot more people, then I would understand them charging.
You know, if they go something big as kind of you're thinking, Mike, it will cheapen the Last of Us brand. In the sense of just like Last of Us, you think when you think Last of Us, you think emotional, story-driven, impactful game. And if they give you something a very expensive multiplayer and they charge you for it, I think it would cheapen the brand and your mentality of how you think and view The Last of Us, because then it just becomes a multiplayer game.
Not if it's just factions. If it's Last of Us factions, then that's a spinoff. You're good.
That's true. I think if we sell it as like Last of Us, or just factions, a Last of Us game.
Yeah, they'll just have to call
Like
it
if you-
factions or something.
If you play it like that, like factions, and then a Last of Us game, like then you're like, all right,
Yeah,
this
it's
isn't
like,
the same on the
like-
same caliber.
Warzone, you understand now how to differentiate the two parts of this one thing.
Oh, how cool would it be if the multiplayer is the factions, right? Of you're a Seraphite and then you're a wolf, and you choose a side, and you build your society.
I think it will be something along those lines.
I think it will be. Because the last one was Fireflies and was it Hunters?
Yeah, hunters.
Yes.
I think so.
So there
Hunters
it was.
and
Those are the
something.
So at the very least, it'll be all the factions that were in the regular Last of Us. So I would think the Rattlers would be there too.
Oh, so you think it's gonna be Fireflies, Rattlers?
I don't think it'll be Rattlers
Seraphite
because
and
those are
Wolves.
the clear villains. I think the other two were a little more.
Ambiguous.
I don't know. The Seraphites are pretty fucking bad, but
They were bad from your point of view, yeah.
yeah. But they started off good, so I guess they couldn't kind of play with those two.
No, they didn't, man. You was walking through the woods and them niggas started shooting you with fucking arrows. You're like, wait a minute, what is going on?
Yeah.
Well, the same thing with the wolves. The wolves shot you on sight. They didn't ask you.
Yeah, they're
questions.
all bad guys. When you meet them, they all seem like really bad fucking people.
Yeah. I didn't even feel bad when I was playing as Abby, killing him at the end. It's like, it's Abby. I'm like, yeah, it is. Blah blah blah. Just like, fuck that shit.
Nah, I felt a little like, damn, we was just cool a week ago. What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abby, what
But
are you
I
doing?
would-
I'm like, and I remember with one of the first times I went against it, I actually got the hostage because I only had like one bullet left on my gun.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold up. So I got the hostage, and then none of them were shooting. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this is crazy.
Damn, that's good. I never grabbed one of them as hostage, so I didn't see that.
Oh, I did that all the time.
I did that a lot when, if you were to kill them, you know, if you kill them, their body drops to the floor. You can't move the body. And if it's in a spot that's wide open, it's like, damn, I'm going to get caught. Like in the news place, the news station,
Yeah.
where you first, yeah. I would get them and I'll drag them over to an area where they can die and then no one will see them. So that was what I ended up.
What I did all the time, I did hostages all the time, so I could do a shootout. So you use body cover, and then right before because if you hold them for too long, they break free, and then you have to do a melee battle with them.
Yeah.
So what I'll do, I'll hold them and I'll start shooting everybody else, and then once I notice they're about to wrangle free, I'll be like, BAM! And I just kept shooting. So you literally shot them while you're holding them. And I was like,
I've
"This is
never.
crazy, dude."
I only ever stabbed them in the neck.
Oh. Nah, dude, I did
Yeah,
the
I've only
shootout,
choked them. I used to always like choke them or stab them. Yeah.
Yeah, I played the game. Well, now that I'm playing again, I'm being a little more free with my playstyle. But originally, I was only stealthing people, dropping bodies somewhere, and I stabbed everybody in the neck.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Like this game is so long. I don't know if I want to play it again. I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna play it
sure.
again. Dude.
No,
I was
at least-
I'm just taking my time now. Like, I rushed through it, obviously. But now I'm like, I'll go to the next building, and I'll do the rest tomorrow. So I'm taking my sweet time on it.
Nah, I'm trying to rush through it now. It's just really, I want to see Ellie's point of view again now that I've beaten the game, and it's a lot more interesting now.
Yeah, definitely.
Just
Especially
even
when you start tying in the days, like, oh shit, day one, Abby's doing this while I'm over here.
Yeah.
I just missed her. Damn, like, you know.
Yeah.
even just the beginning, like when you rewatch Abby meeting Joel, because when you first played, they're just saving this random girl. But when you see the realization on her face that, oh shit, this is the nigga I've been looking
Yeah.
for, or
And
when
she goes,
they all
I'm Joel,
get back,
and she goes,
yeah, like the first time you don't know what the fuck that look
I
means.
didn't notice that.
Yeah, she just.
I noticed that.
She's
I
meeting
noticed the
random
first
people.
time.
She's
Yeah.
happy that she's being saved. Or
Yeah,
when they introduce themselves to the group and like everybody in the fucking group just stops once he says, I'm Joel. And then you're like, oh shit. That kind of stuff you don't really pick up on the first time.
Yeah, I picked up on that, and the part that got me like, oh, I like gasped, and I said, oh shit, like when she shot him,
yo.
I was like, oh,
Yeah, then you
she's not
realize, okay,
fucking-
wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
she's not fucking playing.
Yeah, but it's like the moment
only
he
time
says,
I noticed.
That was the Negan moment, dude. That
Go
was
ahead,
it.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
I forgot, nigga.
The
Don't count
only
on
time
my
I
memory.
noticed it, the only time I really noticed it when she was just like when Owen talks to her and like in the beginning when he says something to her and he's like, "Oh, you got lucky," and she goes, "Yeah, I got really lucky," and then that's
and then you
part
feel
of-
like something's up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that one. I
Yeah,
didn't
she
catch
goes,
that
you
one.
have no idea. And then it's like, oh,
yeah,
yep.
there you go. Yeah. You know what's also cool is the details in the game. Like when you shoot people in the head, if you go to their body, they have holes missing, and if you look behind them, there's a lot of splatter of
Splatter.
like, the chunks of the pieces of their head on the back of them. I was just like, this is crazy, man. They've gotten above and
Yeah.
beyond on the details
There
in
was,
this shit.
especially like with a shotgun when you're shooting people's limbs off.
Yep.
And there was this one part, actually in the TV station now that I'm doing second playthrough, now that I have the explosive arrows, where like maybe like 8 guys come out of one door, and I just started shooting it with the arrows. Like there was like a big ass pool of just blood and body parts everywhere. I was like, shit.
Oh shit.
I didn't know this game got this graphic.
Yeah, dude, it's super graphic, man.
I remember where I first noticed it was early in the game where you're teamed up with Dina in the open world area. And one of the infected was like sneaking up on me, and she just shoots it with the sniper rifle, and the arm just flies off. I was like, oh snap! I was like, limbs are coming off now.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. Not that kind of detail, at least with the combat.
There's so much detail in that game, dude. So Orlando, did you talk about everything you wanted to talk about, or you still have stuff bottled up? The time is now, buddy.
Yeah, I think because I was the one that was so hyped about the game. No, I think we talked about
Thank God.
most of the things, most of the characters. I feel we got touched on. What did you guys think about? Because I thought the whole game was gonna be about about Dina and Ellie's relationship. Even though it kind of was a little bit, but in general, what did you guys think about their relationship in the game? Because they're pretty much set up as like the new like Joel and Ellie for a minute.
I don't know about the new Joel and Ellie, but
Like that connection. I thought the whole game was gonna be about like them three. Like I thought the whole game was gonna be about Jesse, Dina, and Ellie. Like
Me too.
their family dynamic moving forward, basically. But that didn't seem to happen. So
I really liked the relationship. It just felt like natural. Like even the dialogue, like everything felt. I don't know. It didn't seem like extra. There's a lot of times where they try to do like a love triangle sort of, and they make it like dramatic and like I don't know, just unnecessary, and it just felt natural. Actually, second playthrough, I noticed the part where you see the horse that's all fucked up, and you're like, oh, that's Tommy's horse, and then Dina goes and throws up in the corner, and she's like, yo, are you
Yeah.
okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm just a little. Now
the
you're like,
smell.
oh my god, she was fucking pregnant.
Yeah.
Going back, yeah, you see, like, wait, she's obviously going through a whole bunch of shit that I didn't pick up on the first time.
Yeah, because you see her react to stuff like she'll be like, oh, like she breathes in a lot more, and you're like, oh, I
Like-
didn't get that. That I didn't get the first time.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, when she said she was pregnant, I was like, wait, what the fuck? Why are you here, nigga? What is going on right now? It just came out of nowhere. It felt, to me, it felt forced the first time. The second time, I'm like, this bitch is obviously pregnant. Go home.
Yeah, the crumbs are all there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna lose the kid, to be honest with you, because she felt she was really sick.
Man, she got
When
her
she was
ass
at the
whooped
theater?
too. You were like, oh damn.
I was like, oh, she's gonna lose this kid. This
Yeah.
is where the story's gonna take another turn.
Thank
Yeah, Abby
God.
wasn't playing.
That would have been more insult to injury. You'd be like, oh my god, again.
She would have had to die.
I'm like, we just lost Dole, Jesse, which J and J. That's the reason why the baby's named JJ.
For who? What?
The baby's name is JJ, named after Joel and Jesse.
Oh,
I had no idea.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Good one, Pedro.
I think
What
that's
else,
about-
Orlando? What else you got, buddy?
Nah, he's done.
Orlando, what do you got? What do you got, Orlando?
I think that's
There's
it,
nothing else to talk
honestly.
about.
No, I think that's honestly. I think I really just want to talk about that. We touched on Jesse. We touched on Liv. We touched on those characters. So I think Owen we really got touched on. I don't think so. Like or Mel. Like that's fine. I just I think we did a good enough job of talking about the game. I'm not sure if there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
No, we hit 'em all.
I wrote down
That's it.
everything. I just
Okay.
Wait. Dang, nah, I'm the one that's bringing up.
Ah,
You
look
guys
at
think-
you.
Do you guys think they should do another one?
no.
That's what we said the first time. That's what we all said the first time.
Exactly. I
If
said this game is perfect. They shouldn't do a sequel, but this game is so different from the first one that it told a story that it wasn't a rehash. They could do a third one, just don't do a rehash of 1 and 2. If you can make it just as different as 2 was to 1, then I'm down for it.
Yeah.
One part I did like, I assumed that a sequel would be just about Joel protecting Ellie. I felt it would be more formulaic. I like that they didn't really do all of that.
If they do a sequel, I think they'll throw in more Abby into it. I think.
Where do you think it will go though?
Nah.
Because you say the first one is
I don't
saving
know.
humanity. Number 2 is revenge. What kind of emotion they're trying to get you on 3?
Family.
I have no idea.
You can have Vin Diesel in it. Family. What
And
else?
then they drive cars.
As much as they try to sell you on Abby, I don't think the majority of the fans are on Team Abby.
They're definitely
So
not.
to have a game about Abby, I don't think it has to be about Jesse and it has to be about Ellie. I think what I would like to see if they do a sequel is maybe like Abby gets to the Fireflies. He says, "Yo, I know someone who is immune." And maybe those Fireflies go to talk to Ellie and be like, "Hey, we're not gonna kill you. maybe we can do this a safer way. That's what I'm thinking.
I think if they were going to do a game still about the cure, it would have been this game. If they're not doing it about the cure, I don't think them finding a cure should be a focus anymore.
Because maybe you can have a game where Ellie clearly lost Dina. Clearly they broke up. You're not really sure if she goes back to the Jackson. Maybe she doesn't. And so maybe it's a game about her just like feeling lost in the world, and eventually maybe she finds someone else, or maybe she goes back to Dina. And then maybe you have the flip side of Abby meeting up with the Fireflies and then restarting civilization, and maybe they try to get back to Ellie. Because, at the end of the day, that's what the Fireflies mission was, to do that. And maybe they have someone who can do that,
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I have no idea where they can go, really.
If they do another one, I don't think Abby should be. I think we're good on Abby now. I saw her story. I'm not.
Her arc is finished, for sure. Her arc is definitely finished.
I wouldn't mind getting a story of them teaming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make her like Rose in what is it? The last not the last Jedi, the other one. The Rise of the Skywalker, where Rose is in the game and in the movie, and you're just like, why is she here?
I think Abby's a better character than Rose, but
yeah,
for sure. There's no doubt there.
But if they are gonna bring him back or bring them either back, I would like to see them team up for something. Like they need to get something together or some shit like that. They become friends or at the end or some shit like that. I don't know.
Shit,
but
that's gonna be a hard sell.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what's so good is giving you that emotion of through, regardless of what you guys went through, you are kind of both the same, and you bond over those things and learn to put away your differences and become better together.
I really can't see that happening. Like, even though that sounds like a good play,
I can't see it happening, but I think that'd be a good idea. I think they'd be able to do it in a way, just like they made us care about Abby. They would do it in a way where we'd be like, okay, it makes sense that these two that hate each other have to move forward together. It's possible.
Yeah. I don't see it, but if anyone can do it, it's the Last of Us series. That'll make you feel shit, so.
I mean, you would never expect they would get you to care about someone that kills Joel. Like, if you would tell me that after Joel died, how? It's not possible. They killed fucking Joel.
Speak for yourself, buddy. I still don't care about it.
You do, man. Play it one more time, you'll care.
Nah, I'm not. I'm waiting for Ghost of Tsushima now. But any last thoughts, gents?
No.
Before we wrap this up.
Game of the year so far?
Game of the year so far.
Easily.
Yeah.
Well, Cyberpunk hasn't come out yet.
Well, so far. That's what I said so far. That's exactly what I said so far.
I don't think Cyberpunk is going to make me feel the feels that I felt with this. So
with Keanu?
Miles Morales hasn't come out yet either, so.
As big a Spider-Man fan as I am, I think Cyberpunk is the biggest contender.
This was an emotionally conflicting game. That's a hard thing to top to me.
Yeah, I think it's Game of the Year, man.
I think it's gonna fall into what I felt about like Spider-Man against God of War. Like, I think I've had more fun playing Spider-Man, but God of War told me like a story.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna have probably more fun playing Cyberpunk. I'm probably gonna have more fun playing Spider-Man Miles Morales. But the emotional depth that Last of Us 2 left me is deep, so I can't forget that.
If for you to tell me whether I liked 1 or 2 more, that's tough for me, but I can tell you 1 felt more satisfying, but 2 is about vengeance, and the point of vengeance is that it's not satisfying. So I guess it kind of did its job too. So I'm like a little conflicted about which one I like better, but I definitely enjoyed 1 more just because of the satisfaction I felt at the end. Like, I was cool with Joel's decision by the end, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it. But in 2, it just leaves you so like, damn, what now? But that's the point. So I think it did its job.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, cool. Well, hope you enjoyed this review of The Last of Us 2. If you played it, let us know what you thought. Did you hate Abby like me, or you like everybody else who loves her? Did the emotional drive really get you? How did you feel at the end? Let us know your thoughts and what you thought about the game. Till next time.
Bye bye.
Outro.
Later, guys.